Hey, Dad, if you could do me a favor and send out the invites. I don't have the option on my on this account, and I don't have my laptop today.
What's happening, Trace?
What's happening, brother? I need you to put out a couple invites. I don't have my laptop today. I'm only on my phone today, so I won't be able to do any invitations, unfortunately.
Oh, that shouldn't be much of a problem. Any old fucking way. Man, how'd you like that card last weekend, bro?
Yeah, it was not great from a betting standpoint. Yeah, no, I didn't enjoy it too much myself.
Man, I listen. I'm not a guy who gets down on UFC cards, and I don't think it's a quality issue in the sense of like fighter quality or fight quality, but man, it seems like there is just some ridiculous shit on every fucking card now. It seems like you can't, it sincerely seems like every single week something quote unquote fishy happens. Like, I don't, or something, if it's not fishy, it's fucking egregious. Like the eye poking shit, bro. Like, I understand you can't, I mean, I guess you can't put the whole problem on that fight, but bro, it just seems like every week there's some shit where I'm like, man. And like, so let me ask you guys this. What did you think of the Buckley Vicente last 60 seconds of the fight?
I don't know that I buy into the whole fix or James Crouch shit. I think that was pretty obviously
He was trolling.
a April Fool's Day joke, but
Yeah, he was
yeah,
trolling.
it was very suspect, man. It felt like he pulled guard and essentially just shelled up, like just gave up. I responded to a message on a tweet or something like that earlier in the week, and or earlier at the end of last week, rather. It just seems like the accumulation of damage has taken his toll throughout his career. He was always that guy that was able to take the damage, kind of like a more refined Nate Landwehr, if you will. He took the damage early, he wore it well, and always came back and rallied, and then put people away. I think we're just seeing that he's not as willing to take the shots anymore.
Um. All right. So all of the Buckley stuff aside, right? Like all of that, I just think that was troll. I don't think Buckley was being sincere. I don't. Like I don't think he's trying to tell us the fight was rigged. It'd be the end of his UFC. Yeah, just whatever for 100 reasons. But he said it because a lot of people feel that way. And when I watched it live, I felt like Vicente was not getting hit. He was just shelled up. And then I went back and rewatched it today because I knew we were having a space. And man, I don't see where he got hurt. I watched it like 5 times. Like I just don't see it. Like I don't know, man. Like it's fucking weird to me. Like, and no, I'm not calling the whole sport rigged or none of that shit. I'm just saying like very very peculiar to me. I felt that way independently. Like I'm saying, like I felt that way without the Buckley tweet or without, and Buckley did the tweet because people were going ham about it. So like I don't know, man. Seemed I don't even
Well,
want.
let me ask you something. So we have like Andre Petrosky, who has given clarity to what happened to him in his fight, as far as his head hitting the hip bone, and I'm pretty sure it showed where he actually split his scalp from hitting him so hard that it rocked him.
Oh yeah, it fucked him up.
Has yeah, but has Luke made any kind of, like, has he explained what happened or what was going on? Has he made any announcements?
I did not see anything. That's not to say he didn't put anything out there. I mean, there's so much to take in, Like sometimes you don't see stuff right away, but um man, I don't know. That one seemed funny in the moment, but
I'm just
I
thinking because, like, if something weird happens, usually they rush to social media to give clarity, or in the post fight interviews, like Petrosky did. So I was just
I
wondering, like,
didn't see it. I
you
don't
would
want to
think
say
someone
he
like
didn't.
him, who's always been like a straightforward guy, kind of like that guy, you just kind of, he seems like that guy that you just want to root for because he's probably a straightforward guy. And now you're kind of bringing his character into question. You feel like he would have a strong reaction to that.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. Maybe he thinks it's funny too. I don't know because I didn't see a response from him. That's not to say that he didn't tune in or pipe up about it, but I didn't see a response from him. I felt like the um, when old boy hit his head, even when you watch it back, you can at least see when the impact happens. Is what I'm saying. You can at least see it, and it's easy to say that now because we've seen the cut and everything. So like, I don't want to try to hammer it home, but like even in the replays on Saturday, I was like, all right, well he hit his head. Like it doesn't look like he hit it that hard. But then the announcer started talking about how they've hit head bones and it's almost put him down. So I was like, okay, well, that seems legitimate. But Luke covering up and just not fighting until the referee stopped it was just fucking so weird to me, man. I don't, whatever. I ain't got to kill it all night, but just fucking weird to me. How'd you feel
No,
about the
no,
game?
definitely. Another thing is just like the whole, like, the refing. Like, everybody knows, if you're in the group chat or if you've been in here any extended period of time, that I am the biggest fan of Chris Tyone. Love the guy. I think he does a tremendous job. Whenever I start thinking that Chris Tyone is might be the better option, that little leprechaun, Gary Copeland, that dude is terrible. He has to be the quickest on the trigger of any referee. To be fair, he ain't gonna let nobody die because he is that quick on the trigger. He's not quick on the trigger here, and then late on the next fight to make up for it. He's always quick on the trigger.
Yeah, but he's never. You know what you didn't hear from him though?
What's that?
Fight back. Show me something. Do something. Vicente, you're gonna gotta do something. Fight back. You didn't hear any of that. He just
Yeah,
let him
like
get mollywopped on for fucking 30 seconds, but not actually get hit. Vicente was still intelligently defending himself. He was still
bro,
intelligently
Algio,
defending.
fucking Algio. How do you not let a man get knocked down? How do you not? How do you stop a fucking fight standing? The guy never hits the ground, never gets dropped. How do you stop a fight?
Yeah.
He is a ball. He is a
And it wasn't one of those obvious cases either where it was like, damn, I can't think of one, but like I've seen the referee have to literally like catch dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like they call it on the feet and then they literally have to like hold dude up. He's falling over. The cage caught him. He's getting his fucking head pounded in. It wasn't even all that, bro. It was just like, okay.
stumbling, a couple of little stumbling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, he got rocked. Okay. Why the fuck did you stop the fight? And it's
I put out a tweet, and I mean, I'm just curious. Like, I don't know. It would be something interesting for us to dig into to find out why don't we have a new young crop of referees? Why do we still have the same guys that we've had for 15 years? Like Herb Dean's still good. Like he's one of the better ones. He's not always perfect, but nobody is. But he is one of the more consistent guys.
so
Not
it's
always perfect.
echelons. It's
Not always
echelons.
perfect. But like you have like Chris Tonioni, who's like 75. Uh, all these guys are 40, like 45 and older. Like 45 being the young. Other than that young Indian guy, I believe he was Indian, or something like that, Hispanic guy that was in the referee this weekend. Uh, I have not seen a referee that was young like not Steve Mazzagatti. What's his name? He's the youngest one. I can't think of his name right now.
I don't know who is the youngest guy, but uh,
Clean cut guy. I can't think of his name.
is
But
it
anyways,
Herzog?
yeah, Herzog would be probably the youngest guy out of that group. But like even he's in his 40s. Like it's not a young group. I just want to know like we've seen Rosenthal disappear. We've seen
So I think
a
that
couple of like Mazzagatti disappear. We've seen a couple guys disappear, but you haven't really seen a new flock of younger guys. Like even you have older guys like former UFC Frank Trigg. Frank Trigg's a referee now, but he's 50 something years old himself. Like even I mean he's probably more qualified than most because he's a former fighter. But at the end of the day, he's still old. He's still used to the old set of rules. Like he's the old school. The UFC isn't the same way it used to be. You need to have new guys trained in the new ways, not going to the old ways. That way you have a consistency. You have what you want. You don't have confliction. You have these guys that have been trained in this certain way to handle it from this way to move forward. You don't have a mixture of old and new guys. You know what I'm saying? It's just like at what point do
yeah,
they start
okay.
moving forward?
So yeah, but okay, so like here's what I'll say. And I would think that you can almost take it to the bank. 50 to 60 years old will be the retire out age for most referees. And it will become because they can't run fast and they can't dive and they can't protect fighters when needed come a certain point. But there is some truth to good refereeing happens with age. People get mad. Like, listen, what's the saying? If you're lucky, you'll live long enough to see yourself become the villain, right? So, because people will hate anything in time or love anything in time. Things that people hate in time, they tend to love them, and things that people love in time, they tend to turn on them. So and like that's what we do to referees, right? Like you might be like, oh, this guy lets him die, but you know what? That guy feels like when he's watching the fight that bro, you could still be in this. And I'm not defending any referees or anything, but where I'm going is with age comes better refereeing. It is not a question that experience will trump 9 times out of 10 at minimum. Um, in the decision making, when it comes to that split decision moment, the chances are that the experienced referee is going to make the better decision more times than not. And then I'm going to draw from boxing and wrestling and say that wrestling referees go pretty late in age. I know that we're used to seeing young, active wrestlers, but that's because you don't go to any like high end shit. When you go to like high end events, they're very seasoned refs. And then the other thing I'm pulling from is boxing, dude. The and I used to fucking hate it, but the best referees in boxing are fucking 200 years old, bro. But they can still stand there between them guys and they can still make the call in the lower weight classes. You don't see the older guys get to stay with the heavyweights usually, but um, yeah, but I understand what you're saying. There's no new up and comers, but we hate them all, right? We complain about all of them. Every guy that you can say is he's 40. 40 probably means you got 15 years left in you. We're thinking of John McCarthy, who we watch come out of his 20s. Well, there was nobody else. That's why. Like that's what I would say. Like there was nobody else. Guys like him and Herb Dean, um, they will be the only people that we ever really see probably in the UFC from their 20s. And Herb was older, right? Herb was probably in
Yeah,
his.
he was already in his 30s. Like he's a former
He fought till he was like
yeah,
34, right?
yeah, he was a former heavyweight fighter himself. Not a
Yes.
very good record. He was like 1-3 or some shit, but he had the background and he's been doing it since his early or mid 30s at the latest, I'd say.
I would just say that to wrap it up and not kill it. The ideal referee age is probably 35 to 55 for the UFC. And now that refereeing has established its way all the way down the chain, um, we will need to see these guys actually disappear before we see new guys come in. Because it's all done by a meritocracy system. I don't know how it all works exactly. It's been a year or two or three, maybe since maybe four since I heard Big John talk about it. But Big John has talked about the way it works, and there's a system, and it all.
I don't know. You say we hate all new guys and all that shit, but for what it's worth, I do think that Herb Dean, and
Jason Herzog's the best referee in MMA.
the
And
British guy, I can't think of his name right now.
um,
The big Brit, I can't think of his name right now, but everybody knows what I'm talking
Keith
about.
Mark
Peterson.
Goddard, yeah.
Who's that?
Is it Keith
Mark
Peterson?
Goddard.
No, not Keith Peterson.
Mark
Would you say
Goddard.
Yeah, Goddard. Yeah, I think Goddard, Herzog, and Herb Dean are definitely the top tier referees right now. And I think I do would say that probably Herzog maybe being the best. I think he has probably the least screw ups of of the of the ones, but uh, as far as like who gets more of the top tier fights is definitely Herb Dean. So I would say that he has more opportunity to fuck up than the others do.
Unpopular opinion. Chris Tyone. I say it wrong because it's.
Tanyoni.
Yep. Um, he's the most consistent of all of them. Besides her.
Fucking up. Yeah, and fucking up.
Yeah, but no, but it's consistent. We feel like he fucks up, but if you watch, he referees a certain way. He does, bro. It's
Bro,
it.
you will never defend Chris Tognoni to me. I've watched him across multiple sports. I watched him
Oh, he's
across flat.
horrible. I know he's horrible.
He involves himself. Like my favorite thing about Herb Dean was always, don't involve me. Don't get me involved. Keep me out of this fight. He would tell fighters that. Chris Tognoni's like, hell yeah, it's my motherfucking time to shine, boy. Hey, young man, sit your ass down and listen to me. I gotta tell you something. Every fight,
I got
every
no
fight, dude.
defense. I got
He involves himself in everything.
I got no defense. All right, so that's enough rambling about referees in that card and walking Buckley. You guys heard Buckley versus Ariel. I know you did because we're going ham about it in the chats. What walking Buckley said is not wrong. Um, it's not wrong at all. Let me see if I got the clip here. I got a bunch of stuff bookmarked. I'm sure I got it. Just a second.
You're actually this is actually going to be for the most part news. I do know that he addressed him and kind of called him out on his show. I haven't actually watched the clip or dug into it too much. I just kind of I've seen the guys talking about it somewhat in the chat, and you know me, I'm going to jump on the Ariel Helwani hate
Hate wagon.
bandwagon as
Yeah,
quick as
for
possible
sure.
because I can't stand that motherfucker, and I've made that very clear in here multiple times. But yeah, so anytime a fighter calls out Ariel Helwani, good for them.
Um, well, all right. I'm gonna play what he said. I just shared a clip by Soda Pop, who shared a clip from the Ariel Hawani show. I'm gonna give credit to the Ariel Hawani show and Ariel for his interview. This is not our content. I just want to be able to comment on it, and for that sake, I want everybody to hear it. So this is what transpired or what was said today. Let me see. Of course, I'm a minute slow here, but there we go.
That you be careful. What was I saying about the fighters in the UFC?
A lot of things.
What are you talking? I mean, tell me right now. I want to hear.
Well, just with a lot of fighters, man. You've been in the business for a long time. Obviously, you have the respect what you do, and you do it very well. You got a lot of I say facts, right, that you keep down about the UFC and about different fighters. But me personally, I feel like when we come on your show, you try to use us as a weapon against the UFC, right? You use your platform, but you try to set us up low key, right?
For real.
With certain questions that fighters you already know. If we have those conversations, and what we try to talk about could have us get in trouble with who we work for.
Like what? Give me an example.
There's a lot of things, man. You know better for myself. For
no,
yourself.
I don't.
So Ariel goes on to say that he basically defends himself, which anybody's gonna at that point. Before that, Buckley had called Ariel out on a tweet that Ariel said, "Oh, it wasn't me." So he like got dodgy about someone else must have posted that on my social or whatever, and I don't know, bro. Like, so I feel the same way. I'll be honest, I feel like everybody's saying Buckley couldn't defend it. Maybe he's not that smart. I'm saying I'm not being mean. He's not the smartest guy. Actually, he articulated what I couldn't, if I'm being honest, because I've known Ariel turns the screws, right? But he said it exactly how it is. He tries to turn them, he tries to get them to say slights about the UFC. Like he'll say, I thought you should have been paid more. I thought you should have been gotten a bonus. Don't you think you should have gotten a bonus? And he'll lead that question because what you're actually doing is talking shit about the UFC. Buckley's 100% right. Since 200, since PFL, since Jake Paul and Ariel's relationship, Ariel definitely does that with the UFC. And he definitely turns his head for other promotions. So and tries to make them seem great. And if fighters complain, he does just the opposite. He's opposite. He'll tell Cyborg, well, they're dealing with a lot over there. Don't you think in time? And they're trying to get it together. Like he'll almost defend them. So I don't know. I feel like Buckley was correct about all of that. Any comments?
Yeah, man. Go ahead, Dad. Go ahead, Dad.
I just want to say, man, I agree with Buckley. I mean, when I heard that shit, I was like, wow, like it was well said. It was like how Joe said. He said everything. He articulated it the way that I couldn't. So I do agree. I mean, on the shitty part, I mean, there was like when Ariel was asking like when, like what examples. I was my mind was blanking out itself. Like I didn't have any examples, but the fact is, like, I mean, he does do that shit. Like he does try to pit the fighters against their own brand. Like, and like he says he loves the fighters. Well, if you love the fighters, then why would you put these fighters, in these positions? Like, I mean, I get it. You hate the UFC. You don't like Dana, but fuck, man, like trying to like fuck these guys' careers up, man. Like,
Bro, did you hear him tread water when Kayla Harrison was saying she feels like she's finally in the big show? She feels like she can just it's a whole different beast. And Ariel was trying to be like, well, and like, bro, I was like, shut the fuck up, man. Like, shut the fuck up. UFC. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, hey fellas, how's it going? Um, yeah, this is a great topic actually because it's one of those things like you're having an argument with your missus or whatever, and she's like, give me an example, and you can't because there's 1,000 examples. You just can't think of one. But he's done it non-stop. Even like Ali, I know what you think of Ali. Ali's a piece of shit, whatever. But the second he had that falling out with Ali, straight away he's getting other managers, other people's managers on the show, trying to blow them up and all this stuff with the union. He was really trying to get something going. He is still slighted from, when he got the ass from the UFC and Dana made him cry or whatever. He's never ever going to let that go, and he's always going to have something there. He loves the beefs, he loves the grudges, he knows what to get the clicks. He's not upset at Buckley at all for this. Like this is what he wants, and Buckley's done a really good job of putting himself in the headlines after this win this week with the April Fool's thing, and then this thing with Ariel. He's done a pretty good job promoting himself this week after that great win. So yeah,
I agree
Ariel,
with you
yeah,
there.
he's a piece of shit. He's done this always. He loves beef with fighters, and then he loves getting them on the show and making them apologize. You watch, he'll have Buckley on the show within the next couple of months, and Buckley will be saying sorry before his next fight. It's just, yeah, Ariel's. I can't even listen to the bloke anymore.
What needs to happen is we need another Rampage moment where he gets checked in public. He's forced to answer for the shit that he says because Rampage was just sizing his little ass up. He was like, "I'll fuck you up, little dude." He was getting ready to whoop
you,
that ass, boy. But like,
you
Yeah, he
remember
what
was.
we need is we need a Nate to train on that motherfucker, boy, because he gonna talk some shit to Nate. Nate gonna uncork on his ass, boy. That dude
you
don't give a
remember
fuck.
Rampage had a girl in the background or something when they were doing a video, and Ariel's like, "Oh, who's that in the background?" Rah, rah, rah. And she kind of jumped on the mic for a little bit. He goes, "What's going on? Is there love in the air? What's going on? Are we hearing marriage?" And Rampage, it was just like his side bitch. He was like, "I can't believe you're doing this, man. No, I don't love this girl." And this poor girl, broken
Yeah,
hearted,
I seen that
sitting
shit.
there. You remember that shit? That
Yeah,
was
fuck
fucking
yeah, I
messed up.
remember that shit, bro.
And he's like, I had to break up with that girl after that. Like, you asked me on TV if I love
Yeah,
her. I
it
don't love
cost
that
him his
girl.
fucking relationship.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was
Like
heartbreaking.
Ariel,
Yeah.
listen. So I want to be clear though. I want to say, man, Ariel is one of the people that made me want to do what we do here. Made me feel like, man, it would be cool to get some topics you want to talk about and talk about the cards. And this was before Ariel was going through the cards, with GC and all them. Just I thought it would be cool to do this, man. Like Ariel, in my opinion, is one of MMA's early heroes outside of the cage. Um, and nobody will ever credit him that way. And I think he's very bitter about it. And I think it's changed him. I know it's changed him. I
That's
just think
definitely
that
fair,
that's
man.
what it was.
I talk a lot of shit about Arrow, but at one point I was an Arrow Hawani fan. I just think along the way, and I think we all can agree this, that he chose fame, his own fame, over doing due diligence to the fighters, and that's what it was. He is all about clickbait and whatever that entails, and he doesn't care who he steps on anymore because, for what it's worth, he's a bigger star than most of these fighters.
Yeah,
Uh,
100%.
and I think he thrives on that. His own ego has gotten in the way, and yeah, man. At some point he just changed, and I couldn't I couldn't get on board with the guy anymore. I don't like him.
Yeah, he went from breaking news to making news. He wanted to be the centerpiece of everything. He wants to have a reaction with fighters, and then here's the story. It's just, yeah, it's he had to do something because he couldn't get in the UFC anymore. So he tried to make himself as big a part of it as he could. And in his early days, he didn't do that. It was all about the fighter, promoting the fighters and the UFC and everything. And then, yeah, once he broke that Brock Lesnar news and got the ass, lost his credentials, that was it. He just became um, just trying to wreck the UFC and promote himself. But he's, yeah, I don't know, he's lost it in my opinion. I don't know, whatever
I
made him
agree.
famous is what he's doing
He's this
anymore.
nerd that's out here living his dream of being the villain. That's what it is. In his own mind, he is a super villain in a comic book. I would be willing to guess.
Yeah, and good for
Yeah,
him
and that's
is all I can say.
that's
Do
the
you
way
guys
he's playing it. Yeah.
do you guys see Mark Hunt's tweet?
No,
Oh, that
Oh, wait till you see
UFC's
it,
over in
bro.
about
I
Ariel or what?
No. So here, I got it. I'm gonna pin it and then I'm gonna read it. So Mark Hunt tweeted. So the UFC announced their Perth card 305, August 18th. They put out a graphic on it, and Hunt screenshotted or got the graphic from wherever, and then he put this company at UFC won't be around by August. At Dana White, please tell people the truth. You've been lying too long, boy. Laughy faces, laughy faces, laughy faces, laughy faces. I've been telling you lot. I've been telling you lot for a minute now, but you seen it here first.
What we
Class
see?
elite. I think he is fucking
Ozzy,
lost it.
Ozzy, get your boy in line. What's going on?
Yeah, he's kind of lost the plot, man. He's, I don't know if you guys have read his book, but it pretty much explains a lot of it,
Yeah, I'm
man.
not. I'm
He's
not one that's for all the like. Every time somebody says something like kind of off hinge, is like CTE, CTE. But
no, it's drugs, man. It's
Mark
drugs.
Hunt has built a career off of a lot of damage, dealing damage, and taking damage, and living a very wild lifestyle. I imagine being an Aussie. Uh, yeah, man, it takes its tolls on you.
It
Yeah,
sounded
yeah.
like sounds like some alcohol shit. Like there's no fucking way he he fucking tweeted all that shit and fucking really believed what he was saying. I mean, I know like another thing, the guy hates the UFC just as much as Ariel, probably more, but still, it's like fuck, bro. It's like, where is this coming from? Like, he did he even explain, or like, is this like
Oh
really
man,
just?
all his hate comes from the Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's doping, basically being on all the juice and all that shit. And he got the shit beat out of him. Realistically, he got held down and beat up. And yeah, I mean, he could. I mean, realistically, you can die. Let's be honest, you can die. You can die from any punch, but he kind of overdid it a bit, and he's just been jilted ever since. I would say, but to be fair, it's fair. It's a fair jilt. They did fuck him over. They did set him up, but that's what they do. They set people up on their downfall to build somebody up. That's the name of the business,
Yeah,
and
but
he
no,
was on the
but
bad side of it.
that's not fair, bro. So he set himself up, and there's no fucking way around that. And what I mean is, the UFC needed a short notice fight. The UFC needed someone to do that. He got paid more than his average salary. He got paid more than his normal compensation. It's been noted. It wasn't like he got $1 million, but I think he got I want to say $250,000 or some shit or half. I don't know, but it was
Eight
good
hundred
money.
thousand. 800 he got, yeah.
Yeah, I must say I thought it was 800K.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know he got good money compared to whatever it was. Like what his contract had been prior. He wanted that short notice fight. He says the UFC put Brock Lesnar past the drug testing program and gave him an exemption, and they knew he was dirty. You knew they were giving him an exemption so that you could fight him. And if you knocked him out cold, you wanted all the glory that went with it. You knew Brock wasn't in the testing pool because everybody knew Brock wasn't in the testing pool. The UFC didn't put a fucking pistol to your head and say you will fight him. The UFC said, "Hey, want 800 grand to fight Brock Lesnar?" And Mark Hunt said, "When?" And they said, "Tomorrow." And he said, "Okay." And he's only crying because he lost. You've heard me say this before. It's a street racing thing, bro. You chased, you raced. If you think someone took off early and you chase them down the track, you raced, because if you beat them, you wanted paid. If you thought they cheated, you shouldn't have came out the gate. That's how it works. You chased, you raced, Mark Hunt. You wanted the fame, you wanted the glory, you wanted everything that goes along with knocking out Brock Lesnar, and when it didn't work, you fucking cry about it, bro. Like, I just fuck him. I don't want to hear it. That's how I feel. Fuck him. I don't want to hear it. I do feel bad though, because I do agree with you guys, bro. He's got some serious CTE shit going on. Like, someone
Yeah.
should check Mark Hunt the fuck out for
I
real.
mean, they should just have at some point they need to, for all sports, all contact sports have some kind of program to help these guys once they get done. Like if they do have CTE or signs, like help these guys, not just abandon them. They do need to have something like that. I do agree with that as far as that for the unionization and shit. I know it's pretty much kind of a closed case now, and they're getting paid out on that shit. But there should be some kind of unified benefits for them guys, even after their careers are over.
UFC
Yeah, not
fighters get
just
them. You get them if you're under contract. So if you stay under contract with the UFC, you will hold your benefits.
Well, I'm talking about post UFC career. Like once you're retired.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
what I'm talking about.
oh, they do.
They give you a lifetime contract.
Oh,
If
okay.
you,
I didn't know that.
it's not. It's like an 8 fight deal when everybody knows you got 3 fights left, bro. If you're under contract with the UFC, um, as far as I know, you have insurance. I know that there are health insurance programs. I guess I will do a dig for a space in the very near future so that I can have more details on that. But there is a pretty good healthcare program for them, and a lot of fighters are able to take advantage of it now. I think everybody, as far as I know, but that is all conducive to where you live too. I mean, the UFC can't give you healthcare in Russia. It just doesn't work. They can't do it. They can't monitor prices. They can't. They can't. They just can't do it. So, yeah, I don't know how it works internationally either, but I'll try to gather some details for that for a future
yeah.
space.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but a lot of the time, like this insurance is so insanely it's expensive for these guys that a lot of the time, what they do is they just pay for it out of pocket rather than claim on their expense for these
Yeah, there's a very good chance.
insurances.
There is a very good chance, Aussie, that it is just they pay for it. Like an example is, you guys have car insurance in Australia. I'm not being dumb. You guys got car
Yeah,
insurance?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay, so companies like Amazon, they're too big to insure. You know what I mean? Like they can't do it. So they just pay all their shit out, right? Um, Probably something to the same extent, I would assume, but I will find us some details on that. I will definitely find us some details. But Dana White has recently been bragging about the healthcare, and I know that had to be something that was going to help them huge in the settlement or in the case because they were going to be able to say, look, these guys are complaining about when we were $40 million in debt. Now that we are a massive company, yes, we only share at the same percentage with them, but we employ a couple hundred people outside of the fighters now. Everybody that works for us, including the fighters, have healthcare benefits. Um, they were going to be able to show that as their company has scaled, they have really been able to scale what they do for people. It's not talked about. Like Dana White says, these reporters bitched about fighter pay for years, but you can name less than a dozen fighters out of 1,000 that publicly bitched about their pay with hard numbers. Nobody did it because when the numbers came out, it turned out these guys were making millions of dollars, a lot of them. Many of them were making 6 figures a fight. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just one of them things, man. Nobody really talks about it, but Dana White recently did an interview in the War Room, I believe, and someone asked him about it, and he got like excited to talk about the healthcare that the fighters get. So I assume that it must be pretty good. You know, Dana White shuts his fucking mouth or just says, we do what we can. Or says, he'll make up his bullshit. But he was pretty, I don't know, he seemed pretty eager to be able to brag about that. Cushion or Kusin Ashkabov. You guys know who Ashkabov was? He debuted February 18th, 2024 against Jamal Emmers and lost. Um, well, his octagon debut was after 3 years off of MMA, and he is now suspended for 2 years for failing in competition drug testing.
What
So,
weight was he, Joe? Who was this? Was he from Contender Series or what?
no, he came in and fought Jamal Emmers. He was 23-0. He
Oh,
came in as a pretty big prospect. I actually remember people talking about him, and he was kind of had some hype behind him. It was just in February, and yeah, he pissed dirty. He not only did he lose, he pissed dirty. If you're gonna piss dirty, you got to win devastatingly. So Dana White's like, all right, I got to give him another chance. You can't.
That's interesting because what that Walt Harris bloke just whatever got 4 years. So it looks like the UFC is still continuing with the same suspension bans and the way it was
Oh, they
1 year, then
retired
two
Walt
years,
Harris.
then 4 years, right?
They
So
retired Walt Harris. 4
yeah,
years.
yeah,
He's
4 years
40
at
years
40.
old,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah, they retired his ass unless they let him go.
But the suspensions are remaining the same. It looks like they're following the same rules. They're just not paying USADA anymore. So they're doing it themselves, saving millions and millions of dollars by not getting third party tested. They're doing it themselves or whatever. But it looks
well,
like the bans they're still following the same rules that USADA set out.
a lot of them.
From
So
what I
like
can tell.
a lot of what will change is like the medical exemption shit. And not like, oh, the doctor says you can take testosterone, like people were saying, oh, they're starting a test program. No, like it's realistic that you might have. So some, like if you know about steroids, some of them stay in your system at very, very low levels, like levels that aren't really helping you for years, some of them, because you're fucking injecting it into your blood. And you know what I mean? Like your body just can't filter it all out. And like it's proven at certain levels, it's just not, it may even be anti-performance enhancing to have the residual levels 2 years later or a year and a half later when it's burning out. But if you fucking shatter your femur or your fucking, I don't know what the bone that Connor broke is actually called. Is that the shin? Is it? I know it's the shin, but is it the shin bone that he broke?
You're talking about Connor, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Well, whichever bone it is, that's a not a popular break, but we've seen it 3 times in the UFC. To say that them guys could not have been treated on steroids and shit and at picogram levels that they couldn't be found, bro, it's fucking ridiculous. You're holding these guys to a standard that's not fair. You're
Yeah,
holding them.
that's interesting. The whole you start a pool, like you had to be in the pool or out of the pool. You can say you're retired, and then they can't test you or any of that kind of stuff. So and the whereabouts. Remember that shit? There was an app you had to tell them whenever you were
Yeah.
going somewhere or out of all that shit's going to go away. Yeah, so it'll probably just go back to week of fight night testing eventually, but. Yeah, it's interesting. All of a sudden, these 40-year-olds are looking like they're 20-year-olds again. OSP, Weidman. A lot of these guys are uh, having these big comebacks where they're looking like new fighters again, and it's going to be interesting going forward to see how some of these older blokes
A lot of
get their
it
game
too
together.
is, we're going to switch over to the card right after I say this, but a lot of it too is, think of it this way: the UFC removed all the GNC restrictions. You guys probably don't have GNC, but you guys have like the some type of store over there that all the bodybuilders go to. They buy their protein
Oh yeah,
powders,
yeah.
and I'm not
I
saying
have a
everything.
GNC in my mall.
Yeah, like not. I'm not saying everything in there, but I'm just saying like for a generic statement, like they removed a lot of the GNC shit. It's not fair that fighters, because they're fighters, can't have certain things and do certain things that are very, very healthy for you. And athletes anywhere else could do that. But because you're a fighter, it's not fair. It's fair if everybody can do it and some choose to and some choose not to. And again, I don't believe in performance enhancing shit, but I believe a lot in replenitive supplements, things that heal your body. And I know that that's what steroids do, but I'm not talking about at an anabolic level. So it's I don't know. It's dark waters or whatever the word is, bro. It's a hard topic for me. Like, yeah, you got to outlaw stuff, but man, you cannot expect these guys to perform. Like, we want to complain that guys don't fight enough, but we want them to walk around like straight edge. That's fucking ridiculous to me. I just think it's ridiculous. I don't know. Maybe I'm fucking crazy. Trace, you want to jump into the card? I'm over, but I don't think this card's going to take much long. I'm assuming I've looked at this card. I'm assuming there's going to be probably about 5 fights that last 8 minutes combined. So, YB, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna ask a question, but if you're gonna go ahead and move on, that's okay.
Well, what
No,
is it?
you're going. You're
What
good.
is
You're
it? I'm
good, man. You're good. Go ahead.
I was gonna
You got time.
ask with the whole like Mike Tyson, Jake Paul Netflix thing. How long do you think it'll take before the UFC ends up on the platform?
2026.
Yeah, very soon. The TV deal's up now, right, Joe? And Dana's already given
It's not
Netflix a
up,
lot
but
of
they're already
praise.
shopping.
So
It's
yeah,
already
yeah,
close enough that they're shopping. I believe it ends at the end of 2025. I think
yeah.
the
He's
new deal.
already all over Netflix's balls. I think that he'll
Fuck
take a
yeah!
big
So you
loss in
picked it
pay
up
to get on
too?
Netflix.
It was going to be
Yeah,
so
yeah,
hard for me to explain how he gives them these little compliments everywhere that it
yeah,
fucking goes, bro. But he is sucking Netflix dick. You know
yeah.
why?
Oh shit! Really?
Because Netflix has enough money to eliminate pay per view for them.
100%.
Get
Because,
the fuck out of here.
bro, let me explain it to you this way: an ESPN Plus subscription is $11.99, okay, and it reaches 90 million people, if I'm not mistaken. I could be. You can check me on that. I'm not 100% on that. We Googled some of these the other week, and I think that one came back at 90 million. Um, Netflix reaches like 250 million people, bro. They have like 250 million subscribers, and I think it's 17.99 or fucking 18.99 a month now, and you can upgrade it to a bigger plan. Netflix has got dough, so like they may move to a pay-per-view model like the UFC could prove, like look at our worth. But if they're looking at moving over to combat sports and they are using Mike Tyson as their test pilot, listen, Jake Paul sells. Here's this is the smartest fight Jake Paul has ever taken because every parent and grandparent wants to watch it. Jake Paul can't sell fights because his fans don't buy him. My mom and dad are like, when's Mike Tyson fighting and where do we buy it? Don't let us miss it. Like my aunts, my uncles, people that are my age that don't even watch fights are like, hey, when's that Mike Tyson thing? Mike Tyson will, 10 million people will fucking tune in to watch Mike Tyson fight. And Jake Paul is going to take all the credit for it. Mike Tyson could have his Rocky moment with any young fighter right now. And well, I guess that would be his Balboa moment. Wasn't it Balboa where he came back for one more fight?
Yeah, it was Balboa.
He can have his fucking Balboa moment with pretty much anybody that is famous and upcoming, I think. But I think Jake Paul is that guy that will just put it over. People really want to see Jake die in the ring. People fucking hate him. And everybody's going to hope Mike can do it.
I thought the reason would be for pay per view optimization. Like they have a completely different level of security for their Netflix. Like anything that goes on at Netflix, they have way different security for it than Dana has for his pay per views. Like there's if we all had to buy pay per views, like actually had to buy the fucking things.
Oh, bro, they'd sell 1 million every month. Every month they would sell 1 million plus. Every month they would sell 1 million plus YB. Every month, bro.
Netflix has that shit on lock. They've been fighting that like for forever, dude.
So what
You
I
can hate
referenced,
their
what
shit, but it is so difficult.
listen, Saudi Arabia is paying $20 million site fee for the UFC to show up for that card. The Saudi Arabia pays $50 million site fee for the WWE to come twice a year. They pay $100 million site fees for 2 shows a year to the WWE. Keep in mind that TKO now owns both. Um, the UFC is already being moved to a site fee model. The site fee model is what allowed the WWE to walk away from pay per view. I know you can still get them, but bro, if you get the subscription that's like $20 a month, you don't pay for anything. My kid had it for like 2 years. It was like $20 a month, but there was no pay per views. There was none of that shit. You just paid your $20 and you got everything they had to offer. Um, and it was site fees that allowed that. So if the UFC can move to a pure site fee model, especially with the Apex the way it is, that could really allow them to, like, people are like, why aren't they putting shows everywhere? I think it's because they're trying to shift the model to where you're going to pay us to show up, and if they have the Apex until they can get it there. If people only want to pay for pay-per-views right now, that's fine. Saudi Arabia paid $20 million for a fight night. $20 million for a fight night. So yeah, that's just the model the UFC is going to go to, and Netflix can probably give them enough money to, if the UFC can keep their site fees and get the money from Netflix, I think we could see a thing where you have like Netflix, whatever that cost, and then add $10 or $12 a month or even $20 a month for the sports package. And I just think that UFC will be included. Just my guess. I'm just
No,
guessing,
you got it
guys.
right. As soon as you said sport package, Joe, that's what it's going to be. You pay a little bit
Yeah.
extra for the sport package. They own the WWE or whatever you call it now as well, right? The UFC.
Yeah.
So it'll be both of them on there. That's the two biggest things going outside of your, ball sports. Yeah, it's going to be on there, and people are going to pay it. It's going to be easy to use. We all know how to use it, and like you said, with how the Ultimate Fighter got popular because everyone was already watching the wrestling. It was already on TV, and it got popular because well, it's already there. It's available. You keep watching it. Everyone's got Netflix. It's going to be
Yeah.
available to everybody. This pay per view, ESPN 1, ESPN 2. Now you got to switch channels after the prelims. All that bullshit goes away. You're going to have it at one
Yeah.
service, and it's just there. And
And
it's
let's be honest, if the UFC leaves ESPN Plus, it cripples them. And the UFC will bring at least a few million subscribers with them immediately. I'm shutting ESPN off the minute the UFC is not on there no more. I don't give a
yep.
fuck about that stupid, clunky, shitty, overloaded, too much shit going on ass app. Fuck that app. I can't wait to cancel that piece of shit. So, and then you
Another
got to
thing,
figure,
Joe. Hold up. Another thing, I didn't hear y'all say y'all might have touched on it, but if not, I'll bring it up. Uh, it's also another thing where like Netflix, you upgrade your package and you kind of forget about it. It's
yeah,
a money sink that you're not even thinking about. It's like $5 for you, but it like you said, it equates to hundreds of millions of dollars for them
Well,
yeah,
each
like Joe
month.
and
said, it's practically free because you're giving the other one the ass. You
and the
know what I mean?
Netflix has the infrastructure to allow the UFC to move Fight Pass to Netflix and get offer the UFC with Fight Pass, and they could even call the add-on Fight Pass, bro. Literally, just take the Fight Pass shows in the library and everything you have with you, and you just charge more for the Fight Pass on Netflix, bro. I think it's a very easy transition for them to make a boatload more money, and they are infinitely the good guys because they will make it cheaper for us to watch.
All right.
There's gonna be I'll let you take it, Trace, but there's gonna be probably 16 pay-per-views this year, right? Yeah. Count them at the end of the year. It will be 16 pay-per-views. There are 4 every single quarter now. Go ahead, Trace.
No, I was just saying we were kind of going down a rabbit hole now. I think we go ahead and move on to the card.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I was just looking at the clock too, so I'm good with that.
All right, Andrew, you ready to get this card started, brother?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Andrew, let me say this. I'll try to throw odds in when I give takes and shit. Um, I was Trace the scene, and I was in the chat with the developers today. Tail of the tape with odds should be ready on our end by next week. Fuck, dude, it keeps getting delayed, but we're right there. So let's just do your end, and I'll throw odds in when I can. I don't want to pass it back and forth like we did last week. That was too
No,
clunky.
no need for this one. We'll touch on the ones that we need to touch on. But like you said, this this is a get back card for some people, but this is a get back card that I'm not touching. There's a lot of these fights are very close, and the lines are as well. So if you do have a solid side on one of them, you're probably pretty happy with the number you're getting on them. But as far as me, I'm not investing too much money in this card. But yeah, Andrew, let's dive into this shit.
All right, so we don't have a lot of people in here, and you guys are pretty adamant about breezing through this card. Do you really want me to give like a formal tail of the tape for all these fights? I can. I have no problem with it, but
Yeah, we're not in that big of a hurry. Let's keep it professional.
okay. We are doing UFC Fight Night Allen versus Curtis 2, taking place this Saturday, April 6th, in Las Vegas, Nevada, home of the Apex. Let's go.
Andrew, second thought, fuck that. Don't worry
Yeah,
about giving
yeah,
like don't worry about giving like the stats and shit. We'll just do the tell the tape like the who it is, the highest reach, and that shit.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
we ain't doing all that shit.
that was amazing.
Oh, okay. That was quick. All right, we'll go to the bantamweight division to start it off. We have Nora Cornoli taking on Melissa Mullins. Um, Nora's 7-1. Melissa is undefeated, 6-0. They are both 5'7". Melissa Mullins has a 1-inch reach advantage. They do both fight orthodox. I got nothing on this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, with the exception of certain female fighters, I usually tend to go with strikers and the striker versus the grappler battle. It tends to be different for women's. I don't know why. It just seems like there's always a bigger gap in the striking than there is a grappling when there's a grappler versus striker. Uh, So I would take a shot on Cornoli if I was to pick a side, but I think it's a free over here. Don't get too cute with it, as Usman would say. Uh, yeah, I think this fight goes to decision. If Melissa Dixon wins, it's going to be through takedowns. If Cornoli wins, it's going to be through the striking. Uh, yeah, simple striker versus wrestler. Ozzy, what you got?
Yeah, pretty much what you were saying. The only thing I want to add is this Melissa Mullins girl got dropped in her fight against what was her name, Alice Giva or whatever.
Oh yeah, Alex
That
Giva.
Yeah, who is just terrible. If this girl lands hands on her, she might be in serious trouble. This
Russian
Nora
Ronda.
Cornwell girl, yeah, Russian Ronda, yeah. This Nora Cornwell girl, she's got really power. You'll see if you watch her last fight. Like she's actually a thick, strong, muscly powerhouse girl. But she just cannot defend takedowns for the life of her.
Yeah, was it Carolina when Luana Carolina's taking you down? Uh, yeah, not a good
Yeah,
look.
Jocelyn Edwards
Jocelyn
really
Edwards.
out
Jocelyn
wrestled
Edwards. That's
her.
what it
Yeah,
was. Yeah.
yeah. She got and she gets Jocelyn gets out wrestled by everybody, and she's out wrestling this girl, and this cornhole chick, she's a lot stronger than
Cornhole.
Edwards, but yeah, she just couldn't defend the takedowns. But I think she's like plus 250 or 260 or
Yeah,
something now.
I thought Edwards won that fight.
Yeah, Edwards definitely won the fight. Yeah, but
I mean,
I think this cornhole girl, I'll check out to see what her to win by knockout prop is because this, like I said, that other girl got dropped by Russian Ronda Rousey. So yeah, I don't know, man. This line might be a little bit wide. I guess people think that they'll just take that easy minus 300 or minus 320, whatever it is, on this Mullins girl. But yeah, I don't know. I'll check out that KO prop and I might just chuck a few bucks on that.
yeah, that's not a bad look. I'm like I said, this card right here is just. It seems like it's just a trap card. Most of the steer clear from me. Overs, I'm sure Usman would replicate that as well or echo that. And yeah, we'll move forward. Andrew, what you got?
You always get me mid bite, bro. Every time.
That's because you always eating, bro.
All right, we're going to the middleweight division. We have both guys making their UFC debuts, both guys coming from the Contender Series. So this should be interesting. We've got Dylan Budka and Cesar Almeida. Dylan is 7-2. Cesar is 4-0. Cesar is 1 foot taller at 6 foot, or 6'1" to 6 foot. However, Dylan has a 1-inch reach advantage, 75 to 74. Dylan Budka is a switch fighter, and Cesar Almeida is orthodox. Do you or Joe have anything on this?
Yeah. So Dylan Bodka, he was in the Contender Series. He's the one that I'm not even sure how he got a contract. To be honest with you, it was such a boring fight of him mostly clinching the guy up against the fence. Uh, Wrestling background versus Cesar Almeida. Cesar Almeida is the guy that's fought Alex Bahia in kickboxing multiple times. Even holds a win over him, I believe. Yeah, dude's dangerous, powerful on the feet, real legit striker. It's another wrestler versus grappler. Uh, yeah, the Cesar Almeida is he's a little bit old. He's like 36 versus the 28-year-old, I believe, Budka is. Man, I think this is either going to be a quick knockout through Caesar. If he's able to land clean strikes early, I think he should be able to put him away. He should have a very sizable advantage on the feet. Or it's going to turn into a boring grapple wrestle fest for Budka. Um, it's another steer clear for me. I can see it going either way. I just rather not have money invested into contender series fighters. I kind of avoid the contender series fighters until I know what we kind of have with them, with the exception of certain fighters, because you kind of see what they are on the contender series. But like for this kind of guy, yeah, I'm steering clear. Over. I think I'll probably take the over. I think we're more likely to see a decision through grappling than we are to see a stoppage. Joe, what you got?
Um, I will just say that the upside for the UFC would be for Buka to win here. And the over, you kind of took my wind out of my sails there right before you gave me the mic there.
At
Uh,
one point, we had Budka lined up for an interview, but he kind of gave me the. No, I wouldn't say he gave me the big dog treatment, like you got to go through my manager. But I wasn't going through somebody's manager to get an interview for on here. Like, it just seemed kind of crazy. But for the most part, it seemed like a nice guy. I'm not sure if he's UFC caliber. It's just a weird fight.
yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I think this is one of those situations where the UFC is probably trying to give him a guy that is realistic for him, but it's still going to go over. And he probably wins. He probably gets the decision. If I'm being honest, he probably grinds the decision out. Shitty, boring fight. Everybody going, "Why the fuck is this guy in the UFC?" But there's 100 other reasons for that. I'll just
For what it's worth, I hope Caesar goes out and bonks him. Ozzy, what you got?
Yeah, yeah. I think this Caesar bloke, they're definitely going to try to push him. This middleweight division's kind of soft, and whenever you can say somebody's beaten the current light heavyweight champion, it's a big deal for them. So I think, yeah, just having a win over Alex Pereira, even though he went 1-2 over him. Um, I don't know if you watched his last fight against this Fernando bloke. This Fernando bloke's not much chop, but he kicked Fernando in the leg, and he took like 10 steps back and fell over. Like, it was hilarious. He got kicked in the leg once and almost had a heart attack. Second round, he's pulling guard on this dude. Like, he wanted none of the stand up, none of the leg kicks. Yeah, I just watched that fight you were just talking about with Budka. Yeah, he's holding him against the cage, doing nothing against that bloke. But honestly, that might be all he
that's
kind of
what he's going to
needs
do
here.
this fight. That's what he's
I
Yeah,
going
mean,
to
that.
that's all he's got to do is just crowd the kicker. Man,
Yeah, yeah.
he's got nice hands too, but he's mostly a kicker.
And
It's
again,
just,
this is the UFC debut or whatever, but it's at the Apex. It's not much different from a contender
I
series
mean, the
fight.
small
Look
cage
visually
does.
backstage.
Who does the small cage favor here? Does it favor Caesar or does it favor Budka
Nah,
because he only has to cover so much to get it to close the
exactly.
distance? But
Yeah,
Yeah, it
uh,
removes 33% of. It definitely favors Buka. Definitely.
yeah, 100%. So I imagine he's going to get some takedowns. I don't know. Maybe he kind of went for a weak ass rear naked choke in his last fight, but I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. To me, it seemed like he didn't have the greatest cardio himself. I mean, he seemed like he was struggling. Am I alone on that, Ozzy? Do you agree?
No, you're right. But that bloke, he was pretty gassed too, and he was just a big, tall guy that, um, yeah, for whatever reason, I don't know how. Yeah, neither of
Yeah, but
these
let's be
guys are
honest.
really
If
UFC worthy.
it makes it that far, Almeida is going to be death gash as well, though. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, this is just another. It's going to be either a early stoppage or a slop fest.
yeah. I will check out to see what Buka's paying for by sub, just because he did go for it last time. He's definitely going to aim for the fight to be on the ground. So
Oh yeah,
I kind of
I'll
like.
definitely go ahead, Ozzy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, I'll just check that line. And probably have a piece of that.
Yeah, I would check the round 2 or 3 on FanDuel as well. I don't know if you have access to that, but they have pretty good lines on those group round submission and KO props. It's pretty solid.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
Yeah, the other
Andrew,
one I would
oh, go
say
ahead.
real quick here is Buka by decision. But I don't play points, but you might get better odds for taking points on the other side. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not, but I don't play that shit a lot, but you guys do, and I'm always like, man, I need to go look at that shit.
Andrew, what you got next for us, brother?
Next, we are going to the bantamweight division. We have a little bit of a vet, actually, Dan Argueta, the wrestling heavy Dan Argueta, taking on the newcomer, Gene Matsumoto. Matsumoto is coming off of a Contender Series win, so he will be making his UFC debut. Dan Argueta is actually 1-1 with 2 no contests in the UFC. His last 2 fights are both no contests. I don't know if that's ever happened before. Maybe it has, but that's pretty weird. If we go to overall records, Dan Argueta is 9-1 with 2 no contests. Matsumoto is undefeated. He is 14-0. So let's see if the O will go. Dan is 1 inch taller, 5'7" to 5'6". However, they do have an even inch reach advantage at 68 apiece. Dan Argueta fights southpaw, and Gene Matsumoto is an orthodox. Trace, what you got, bro?
Yeah, so Gene, he's a pretty dangerous guy, man. He's pretty dangerous on the feet. He's dangerous on the ground. Black belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, legit striker. Uh, yeah, man, I think he's going to be a problem once he gets a little bit more experience in the UFC. I kind of like Dan Argueta here, man. I think he's a solid dog here. I think he could go out there and push a pace on Matsumoto and get the takedowns. And we do know that while you can get submissions off your back, it is a lot less likely in the UFC nowadays. Jiu-jitsu just it doesn't work as well from the back anymore like it used to. You don't see those throwing up the submissions all the time as frequently. They still happen, but they're not as quite as often as they used to. So I do think if Argueta is able to secure the takedowns, he will maintain control time, and that really eliminates a lot of the danger from Matsumoto. I like Argueta by decision here, man. I think he out cardios him and makes him fight an ugly fight and crowds him and takes him down and holds him against the fence. Yeah, give me the decision, man. Give me the dog. Joe, Ozzy, what about you guys?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, mate. So short and sweet. He's an underdog on the card. I like Guetta. I think he will have success with takedowns, and I think he's going to be busy enough that the takedowns, we've seen in the past, they're not really scoring takedowns, but I think he'll be busy enough on the ground, passing and getting minutes, and then landing some strikes. So yeah, if he knows what's good for him, that's his game plan. He's not going to stray from that, and yeah, he's probably going to win minutes. So yeah, I agree with what you said, mate.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, with these contender series guys, you kind of got to show me. I just need a little bit more. I need to know that they can float. So whenever they have their debuts, whenever it's like a seasoned vet, like somebody that's fought some decent level of competition, uh, yeah, man, I'm gonna start fading these guys. Just because we're seeing how often we actually get stars from that show and how often we get duds. And I don't care about a pretty record. I need something that's somebody that's a killer and that's a proven killer. And we've just seen as Matsumoto's kind of went up in level of competition, he started having decisions, and I think we see that kind of trend throughout his UFC career until he is able to find that next level. And I think that
Yeah.
needs to be coming from a loss.
You can see with Argueta too, like his last 5 or whatever fights have been against decent competition, and we're not seeing that with these contender guys. A lot of these contender guys are coming in and they've just fought bums until they get to the UFC.
Yeah, at some point, the level of the UFC as a minimal level is still higher than the regional scene, or should be in any ways. You'd imagine. So, at some point, we do have to start seeing that, and I think we have. I think we've seen more guys getting crushed than we have seen guys getting turned into diamonds from the contender series. Andrew,
Guys, just don't parlay him, okay?
no, it would be a dog shot. Just yeah, I'm not saying throw this guy in your parlays, but I do have a dog parlay I like though. I will get that out a little later, and he is one of the legs.
That
Andrew,
guy, he was a big prospect in LFA. He's He fought some dudes that were not necessarily considered cans in LFA. That's all I'll say. I he's as deep as -225 at some books. I don't know. Just throwing all that out there, Andrew.
We will head over to the strawweight division. We have Piera Rodriguez taking on the veteran Cynthia Calvillo. Piera is 9-1. Cynthia is 9-6-1. Piera is 5'3". Cynthia is 5'4". Piera's reach is 63. Cynthia's is 64. They do both fight orthodox. Cynthia Calvillo has lost her last 5 fights, unfortunately, but all to good competition. Piera Rodriguez has won 3 of her last 4. She's coming off of a loss to Jillian Robertson. I don't think Cynthia is. I think she has a shot at winning. Don't get me wrong, she's a dog. I don't think Piera's like that. But it looks like Joe has his hand up. What you got, bro?
Freest over on the card. Freest
Agreed.
on the
Just
card.
want to go ahead and throw this out there too. Y'all are welcome for that Jilly Bean call, dude. I'm telling you, I can't miss a Jillian Robertson call. I called her on that one. Dude, she's probably my best cat fighter, which is hilarious because I'm like pretty, pretty typically not that great with women's MMA, but for whatever I heard, dude, I am money.
Oh, who doesn't like Jilly Bean, bro?
Oh yeah, she's great,
She's the
man.
greatest.
Yeah, I think we see Pierre Rodriguez wrestle to a decision here. I'm not going to get too crazy into it. Yeah, take the over. Take the decision prop. Uh, yeah, we've seen the decline of. I can't even remember her name. Um,
Cynthia Calvillo, bro.
Cynthia Calvillo.
Calvillo.
Yeah, like we've seen the decline. Like they're trying to build her as the next big thing, and she was another less popular Paige Van Zandt. Maybe a little bit more skilled than Paige Van Zandt, but similar. Uh, yeah,
Boy,
just take the
Paige
over.
would have beat her ass. What you talking about?
No, I would take Cynthia over Paige.
Okay.
Paige was just weaponized pace. Like she would just fight at a crazy pace, and if she didn't get you out, she gassed. She really wasn't that skilled, but especially not early on in her career.
And Calvillo is?
I would say she's the better boxer of the two. Probably the better wrestler as well. But we're breaking down a fight that's not even happening. What are we
I was
doing?
gonna say, okay, I'm done.
Yes, over goes to decision. Don't make too much of a fuss out of it, man. Just yeah. Next fight, Andrew.
Next fight, bantamweight division. We have Alatang Haley against Victor Hugo.
This fight is actually canceled, isn't it?
No way.
I think
Oh,
I
it's
think
canceled, is
Haley
it?
Haley had to pull out.
Was that today?
Yeah, I seen they said that he pulled out because of some kind of issue, and I seen Syed Jakub saying to give him a call.
Oh shit. It's not updated on UFC stats. Thanks for letting me know.
For what it's worth, I think that what's the other guy's name? The little bald Brazilian guy with the mustache. Who's the guy he's fighting or was fighting?
Hugo.
Victor Hugo?
Victor Hugo. Yeah, that dude's legit, man. I know he was supposed to fight a while back and missed weight, and the fight got canceled. But yeah, this dude's legit, man. I think he's gonna be a real. I don't know if he's gonna be a contender, but I think he'll be somebody that we see in the top 20. Legit, seems like he's pretty well rounded. Interested to see how he goes. He's one of the guys that I have a little bit more faith in coming out of the contender series. So I think he's fun. I had him. Possibly a late round finish against Haley, but we'll see what happens with who he gets replaced with. But should be a pretty big favorite, so probably unbettable if the fight is rebooked. Ozzy, who are you on for that fight?
Oh no, I was just excited because I hadn't taped it yet. So I had nothing, actually nothing on that fight, no opinion, anything. Yeah, I was going to tape it today, so it's one less thing I have to do.
Yeah, save you the tape, brother.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
All right. Anybody else got a take on the fight that's no longer happening? All right, Andrew. What we got next, buddy?
That was funny. We will actually stay in the bantamweight division. However, we'll go to the ladies. We have everyone's favorite fighter, if you will. We have Norma Dumont taking on the return of Jermaine Durandamy. Okay, Norma Dumont 10-2. Jermaine is 10-4. Jermaine has a 2-inch height advantage, 5'9" to 5'7". She also has a 4-inch reach advantage, 71 to 67. They do both fight orthodox. Norma has won her last 3 fights, the last one coming off of against Chelsea Chandler. And Jermaine Durandamy, the last time we saw her, ladies and gentlemen, the last time we saw her, she put Juliana Pena to sleep. And then she said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go have a kid and have a family." She is back. I am very interested. I'm very intrigued. I know she's 39 years old, but I think stylistically, I think this fight works for her. You know what I mean? She's going to be able to stand up and do her thing. I'm very intrigued. Trace, what you got, bro?
Yeah, man. So I'm very excited about this fight. So August 27th, 2023, I took out a future bet on who would be the champion in 2024 after we knew for sure Pena or Nunes wasn't coming back. I got Jermaine Durandamy 150 to 1. Put a half unit on it, and then I also parlayed her with Tom Aspinall to be the heavyweight champ for a quarter unit. I think it was 90. Let me see, 981 to or 9,800 to 1 or some shit like that. 980 to 1 is what it is. 980 to 1. And yeah, man, I feel like this fight this weekend is going to answer a lot of fucking questions about how that goes. If she goes out there and starches Norma Dumont like I think she's going to, I think we see them square off. And Norma got stopped by oh shit, another Australian. Um, shit, she fought Amanda Nunes for the belt. What's the Australian fighter, late woman's fighter? She's
You're
retired
talking
now.
you're talking about Macy Shazam.
No, no,
No,
no, no.
I know
Megan
who you're
Anderson.
talking
Megan
about.
Anderson.
Megan
Oh,
Anderson.
Megan, that was back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
So she knocked out, or Megan knocked her out. Megan doesn't knock out anybody. Jermaine Durandamy is fucking legit. She is the real Iron Lady. This girl hits people like she turned Nunes into a fucking wrestler. Like this girl cracks, people take notice, and I don't think Norma's got the takedowns to get her down. I think she's gonna hit her, she's going to panic, and it's gonna go downhill from there. I am definitely going to hit the round twos, round three KO props. I know she's old, I know she's 40, but we've seen in the women's division that doesn't seem to be as much of a factor. Um, that division is so fucking wide open. Jermaine could very easily come back and be the not only was she the first women's belt division champion in that weight class, but she could be the current one as well. Yeah, dude, legit power. She's got a real game changing power in striking, and I think we're going to see that on display. So yeah, I'm on GDR as a dog. I think she's plus
What
150.
did you say about her being the first champion?
She was that division's first champion.
They're fighting at 135, bud.
Well, it don't matter. She was still that one division's one champion, first champion. Nah, but yeah, okay. So they're fighting at 135. Then yeah, oh yeah, then
Norma Dumont's about to beat
Norma's
Ranger Mandevy's
no, 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 no,
ass
no,
for
no,
five
no, no, no,
rounds.
no, 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 no.
She's
Norma
old as
has
hell.
even hey, that gives me more confidence. Norma has historically struggled to make 135. There's no guarantee she makes the weight class.
Bro, I
So
don't
has
think she's ever
Jermaine.
made weight in the UFC. She is a ranked bantamweight, and I don't think she's made weight once in the UFC for bantamweight.
You want Norma?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude. Like now that I noticed at 135, this fight might not even happen. She might not even make weight. She has struggled. I don't like yeah, like you said, not even struggle. She can't. She has never
She's
made the weight.
never made weight at bantamweight in the UFC. Yet somehow she is a ranked bantamweight.
It's because of what she was doing at 145.
It's
Yeah.
Better
because
times,
there's no more 145. They were merged.
right? They just carried it down. Better. What you got? If you're speaking, brother, I can't hear you.
No, he's still on mute. Better times. Get after it, bud.
Yeah, I can't hear you. Come back out or back out and come back in, brother.
You might not have to.
Ozzy,
Let me just remove him as a speaker and then re-add him. Sometimes that's enough.
Ozzy, what do you got on this fight?
Oof.
Yeah, man. I was looking at this fight thinking, how can you possibly bet Jermaine in this spot after coming back from having a baby and all that? But you talked me into it, man. You talked me into it. She does have a similar frame and everything as Megan Anderson. She's the only difference is she's a lot more powerful, more precise with her strikes,
Way
better
more
gas
polished.
tank. She's not lost on the ground like Megan was. Norma, she's been to decision her last what 6 fights, 7 fights. Wow, yeah, last
And
seven
also, what
fights. Excuse
Jermaine's
me.
only losses were to Pena or to Nunez, weren't they? Like, or two of her losses were to Nunez. Like, she's only lost to Nunez, really.
Yeah, Nunez. Yeah, and I guess Julia Bard way back in the day. Yeah, but yeah, I mean Nunez, man. She's still probably the best ever do it at that. I think female fighter of all time. But even then, she's throwing up triangle off her back trying to get Nunez out of there. She's comes back and subs Juliana Pena. You know, she's legit. She's tough. Yeah, she's not without a chance here for sure. And let's just check the odds real quick. I bet she's a favorite, is she?
No, she's the dog, man.
She's the dog, 150. Give me that plus
GDR. That's what I'm
150 on
saying. How
Jermaine.
can you pass GDR up at plus money, dude? Like, how? I don't
You
get it,
can't in this spot
dude.
because
I'm hammering.
Norma,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
sorry, man, Norma's going to give her that 15 minutes she needs. Norma's not going to put her out. She's not going to get her out of there. So she's going to have that full 15 minutes to do something. We know that Jermaine is probably going to have the higher output in this spot, right? I have to imagine.
I don't know
Um,
about maybe not at the beginning. I think she's gonna try to pace, but like Norma's whole game plan is to either strike or try to grind you up against the fence. You grind Jermaine up against the fence, she's gonna hit you with them knees. She's gonna hit you with elbows. Dude, she is fucking nasty. Like,
yeah, yeah.
there's nowhere in this fight if she can't get the fight down. There's nowhere in this fight that she's gonna be comfortable if she can't get the fight down. She is like, dude, I'm telling you, this is. I get it, she's old, but like I said, for women's MMA, and now we're seeing that they're not testing as much. Who says GDR is not on the sauce, dude? Like, she's already a pretty intense looking lady. You know what they say? I'll bet on the ugly one. So
Trace, can I say something?
yeah, brother, go ahead.
She gave birth at 37 years old, man.
Tough old broad.
No, listen. She's not gonna be who she was. Her body is not gonna be what it was. You can say I'm a dick, call me sexist. I have 5 fucking kids, and my wife, in her mid 30s,
I'm going to
decided
stop you, Joe. Don't finish that sentence.
she wanted a baby, and that's when we had our 5th child. And it's ferocious. Her body is not the same, and
You did it.
all of the all of the doctors. I'm not talking about the way she looks, bro. The way she feels, the way her body adjusted, the things it took for her body to give birth, and the doctors told her up front, this is going to be hard on your body, and there is nothing you can do about it. This is late age birth, and my
Bro,
wife.
is your wife's name Jermaine?
Listen, bro.
Do they call her the Iron Lady?
She
I'm
wasn't
fucking with you, Joe.
training. She wasn't taking her supplements. Here's what I would bet, and I would bet it at minus 500. Uh, Jermaine Durandamy gets warned at least twice for illegal strikes.
What do you mean, like back of the head, poking eyes? What are we
Yeah,
doing?
after the bell.
Oh, because
After the
Norma's
bell,
hurdling
yeah.
up.
Yeah, or Jermaine don't give a fuck. When the horn blows, that means one more. That's what Jermaine thinks. The horn blows, that means only one more.
That was
Joe, I
Fucking
Holly
appreciate
Holm,
that,
man.
man. I appreciate you calling that out, bro, because
All
that's
right,
my girl, Holly.
better times. We got you this time.
Can y'all hear me?
There we go. Let's go, brother.
All
Yeah, what
right.
up, bud?
Dude, when I looked at that price, I was so fucking confused. I'm like, yo, she is legit. Durandamy, she is, oh my god, dude, I love watching her fight. She's mean too. And I don't see how like Norma's not gonna be fucking safe anywhere. She's not going to be comfortable anywhere. Even if she fucking tries to clinch her or wear her down, she showed that she can grapple too. She's just mean with the kickboxing and the fucking elbows in the clinch. I think she's gonna finish her, and I think it's gonna be early.
You know what?
And
I was thinking it was gonna be. I'm sorry, better. Go ahead.
oh yeah, and I was gonna say I don't think giving birth. I don't think the whole giving birth thing is gonna do anything. Like Misha Tate took time out, had a family, came back. She still looked good. I think these are athletes that, when you're like in that good of a shape, you can recover and get your body back. So I don't think that's gonna do
Oh yeah,
anything.
what's Misha Tate's record since she came back?
That's a different. So I would agree. Um, yeah, man. I just think this is gonna be a bad fight for her. I wouldn't be surprised if she like if Jermaine's smart and if she really is going to struggle with this weight drop or this weight cut. Talking about Dumont, the body, man. The body. Especially in the clinch situations. If she's dehydrated, them knees to the body, them shots to the body are going to destroy her. That girl hits way too hard, man. I wouldn't be surprised if she hurts with a body shot. Zah, what you got?
Yeah, what's good, everyone? How we doing?
Not
For
bad.
me,
How you doing, bud?
chilling. How you doing, Joe?
You know I love this shit even on these crappy ass cards.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what you guys thought of the over, because I was thinking, yeah, this goes over.
Yeah, I don't see how it doesn't go over. Take this one and the last women's fight and add them to any parlay you want, in my opinion, because they're free overs.
I don't know. What's the over set to on this one? If it's 2.5, I wouldn't. If it's 2.5, I wouldn't throw this one in. I wouldn't be surprised if this one gets finished.
All right, so this one, capmma.com, over 2.5 minus 300, bro.
I don't know,
Especially
man. We'll see.
That ain't
Hey,
even the
you know
worst.
what? You know what? That's fine because I'm looking. I'm looking to grab that KO prop round 2 or 3. That means that baby's gonna be fucking thick, boy. Go ahead.
But Joe, I do agree with you on that too, though. Though being the age factor definitely got to affect you somehow.
It,
Look at Chris Weidman. Weidman looked as good as he ever looked last weekend. You know why? We ain't testing no more, boys. We own the good shit now. It's free game, man.
did you
We,
say
we
Chris
about to.
Wyman looked as good as he ever looked
Two
last?
eye pokes,
I,
I quit. I
dude,
quit.
he looked.
I'm done.
two
I
eye
He looked
pokes.
better, bro. He
Bro,
looked better. He
that
looked.
movement was something else, man.
Bro, he looked quicker. Oh, hold up. He looked quicker. He looked stronger. He ate shots way better than he has in a long time. You know that ain't by accident, bro. He had a 6 pack again. That motherfucker's on the sauce, bro. Ain't no
What was
way.
the name
Ain't
of the
no way.
guy he
Motherfucker
fought?
had back muscles. He was looking great.
What was the name
It
of the
don't
guy he
matter. It
fought?
don't matter. Bruno Silva went life and death with fucking Alex Bahia, man. Like it is what it is. It's more of a. I think it is more of a slight towards Alex Bahia that they went life and death, but the guy's
Yeah, and
durable.
Jermaine beat up Larissa Pachenko back in the day. Larissa would beat her ass tomorrow, so I want to hear that
Well,
shit.
yeah, that's a different beast. That's juiced up. They're both on juices now. Come on,
Juices,
Joe. Come
they're
on,
good
Joe. That's
before.
plural, man. I ain't even heard steroids being referred to as juices, but I just did it, so that's just real.
Yeah,
Andrew,
I
what you
mean,
got next?
it is juices though. It is juices.
Andrew, what we got next, brother?
Next, we are going to the welterweight division. We have the 39-year-old Court McGee taking on Alex Morono. Court McGee is 22-12. Morono is 23-9 with a no contest. They are the same height, 5'11". However, Court has a 3-inch reach advantage, 75-72. They do both fight orthodox. They are both coming off of losses. Court McGee, unfortunately, his last 2 losses have been some pretty nasty knockouts, both in the first round. So I'm a little bit worried for him. However, if he can grapple Morono, we'll see. Moreno's coming off of a loss to Buckley. So someone's got to win here. Joe, what you got, bro?
Um, yeah, of course someone's got to win, but it's not going to be Court McGee. And you want to know the bitch, bro? I like Court McGee. I like the dude. I mean, like, I actually like the guy, but he's going to get fucking beat up. Um, Moreno is a money line. Morano is a money line parlay piece. easy work. No tape needed. Yeah, that's just easy work in my opinion, man. Trace, unless you're going, I'm gonna throw it to better times.
Yeah, I'll make it quick and simple. Overs and Moreno decision. Better times.
Over McGee decision. Dude, come on, man. Look, who knocked him out? It was Jeremiah Wells and Travis Brown. People with real knockout power.
Matt Brown.
This man can fucking. Oh yeah, Matt Brown. My bad. But this motherfucker can wrestle, bro. And when he grabs you and drags you down, you're stuck. How is Alex Moreno going to get from under him? He's not going to have space to work. And the people who Alex Moreno had beat are people who thought they can run through him and didn't realize that he knows what he's doing with his footwork and counters, and they just get beat up, they get frustrated, and then they put themselves in more danger. McGee does not have that kind of style. He uses his strikes very he uses them well to set up his wrestling. That's his bread and butter. It's the wrestling. And I don't think the wrestling is gonna fuck. I don't think Morono can fuck with the wrestling. Now, I was on Morono before I broke down the tape, but man, when I saw that shit, it is McGee, man. That's the underdog to watch right there.
If it was a couple
Bro,
years
his
ago,
wrestling is not good.
if it was a couple years ago, I would agree with you. I would say that the pace and the pressure and just him being able to get his hands on him. Because you're right. Once he used to get a hold of you, you couldn't get away from him. He was indeed a crusher, but he ain't that guy no more. And he's had bouts of addiction issues in the past. I don't see him putting a needle in his ass to get an advantage or popping pills to get an advantage anymore after having that kind of a pass that he's gotten over in past instance. So I don't think he's going to be on the juice to help him with the age and the slowing and the just everything that comes with it, the wear and tear on your body from all those years
But
of
when you,
wrestling.
but look at that body. Look, you see Morono, he ain't got no muscle on
This is
him.
fighting, bro.
You
This is
you see
fighting. Look at Anderson
McGee.
Silva. Anderson Silva
Look at
was
me.
was the guy. Anderson Silva was the guy that was on
Anderson
juice
Silva
and
had
still had
skills,
no
bro.
muscle.
He had
Anderson Silva
skills
was a
though.
worm. He was a worm.
Did he not have skills though?
That's
That
what. Yeah, but
motherfucker had skills.
Moreno's definitely got the striking advantage in this fight. He's the better
He's
striker
got
of the
the right
two,
hand. He's
and he's
got the right hand.
jujitsu probably the better jujitsu guy, but not the better
No,
wrestler. I
that
agree.
jujitsu is not gonna fuck with the wrestling, and he only has the left hand jab and that wild ass right hand. As long as McGee avoids that right hand, I don't think Morono's gonna be able to get away from that grip, man. That grip. I'm fucking telling you, man. When he grabs you, it's like I love watching him wrestle, bro. It's fucking. I don't see Morono fucking with the wrestling, bro. I just don't.
Let me tell you this, then, brother. I'll agree with you on this. We both like the over. I'll play the over. Easy money.
Over easy money. Yeah, we agree there.
I won't fight you on this fight for sure, my man. There are way better fights we can fight over. Ozzy, what you got?
Yeah, yeah. Morono's the side here for sure. I don't see McGee really getting any wrestling done. If he does, I see Morono getting back up. To be honest, I don't think at this age he is going to be able to really hold down an active fighter like Morono's output is still pretty good. Court McGee's has really dropped off. Back in the day, McGee used to be able to just go and go and go. I don't see him being able to do that in this spot. I think the small cage kind of favors McGee a little bit because, like you said, he is going to throw 3 or 4 punches, then dive at a leg. But the cage is going to help Morono get up as well. So, yeah, I don't see him taking Morono down 5 or 6 times, which is what he's probably going to need to win this fight. So, yeah, I think Morono on damage. Morono could get him out of there. I'm not racing the window to bet the over on this one myself because you never know. Morono could knock him out, could tap him out. We've seen he's got a good guillotine choked out Tim Means. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. I
Knocked out
probably won't
Cerrone.
play Morono either, but yeah, knocked out Cerrone. Like he's really good. I mean, I don't really want to play him at -320 or whatever he is.
30-26 Morano.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, he
I mean,
probably could
Morona
get
throws
him out there,
volume,
man.
bro. Morona throws fucking
Thirty
volume.
twenty six. He is going to make Court McGee look so bad. Within the first 3 minutes of the fight, Court is going to get rocked. He's not going to get finished, Moreno's not a finisher. I don't care about that dumbass fucking Cerrone knockout. We all know he's not a finisher, but he's volume and pressure, and McGee can't take that. And the older he gets, the less he can take it. Moreno is literally going to fucking 30-26 him. He will win the second or the third round, fucking 10-8. I'm telling you, he's gonna
You know
beat.
what, Joe? This might be one where the ref has seen enough. You know what I mean? Like he's not going to one hitter quit him. You know, he's not just going to land and knock his head off his shoulders. But come that third round, caught standing there, you know, covering up against the cage, I might have a bit on Moreno round 3. To be
Yeah,
honest,
I
you know,
would say that's the only way by finish though. Like I think Court. I don't. I know Court's been knocked out, but I don't think Moreno is. I don't think Moreno can knock him out. I don't think he can knock him out. I don't think Moreno can knock many people out. He's not a knockout guy. Is what I'm trying to say. But man, whatever. We've spent way too long on this fight.
Andrew.
Bro, I was about to say I wasn't expecting this fight to go that long. We're gonna go to the lightweight division. I wish Will was in here because his favorite fighter's fighting. We have Trevor Peak fighting, and he's taking on Charlie Campbell. Trevor is 9-1 with a no contest. Charlie Campbell is 8-2. Charlie Campbell's a lot taller. He is 6 foot to Trevor's 5'9". Charlie also has a 2-inch reach advantage, 72-70. Trevor Peak fights switch, and Charlie Campbell fights orthodox. Trevor Peak is coming off of a win against Yaya, and Charlie Campbell won his UFC debut against Reyes. So let's see what we got. I'm sure if it's a Trevor Peak fight, it's going to be a sloppy, ugly dog fight. We'll see. Trace, Joe, what you got?
Oh man, -213. Trevor Peak is free money.
Trevor Peaks minus 213.
no,
I
he's the
thought he's the
dog.
No,
dog.
no, he's not -213. Charlie Campbell's
I'm
-213.
about to say, hallelujah. I'm about to be
I'm
rich.
Trevor Peak.
Yeah,
So,
no. You
Charlie
bet on
Campbell.
Charlie Campbell and you
Yeah.
get -213. Peak is free money, bro.
No. Charlie Campbell is about to set this man down with a fucking straight. It's one thing simple, man. Both these guys have power. One throws looping hooks, one throws straight punches. One's the bigger guy, one's naturally stronger, one's naturally faster. One's just a junkyard dog that's fun to watch. Um, yeah, Charlie Campbell is going to knock this fool out. I think he'll be the first person to do it. Round 1 KO, man. I think he is going to stumble him a few times on the way before finally putting the man down.
Yeah, it will be a violent exchange. You can count on that. But there will come a point where Charlie is just too fucking big.
Dude, when
Like
you're throwing
that.
if you're throwing standing hammer fists, it's just a matter of time, bro.
Yeah, and I mean, there's the size differential for two guys that are going to stand and fight is pretty significant here. Um, Trevor Peak's going to shoot that lame ass takedown after he gets punched in the fucking face, but they probably don't get him anywhere.
I will
Uh,
say this: I will take a shot on the round 2 or 3 KO props for Trevor Peak, though, because if he does survive the first round, Campbell does kind of slow down, and we know that man got that fucking motor running 24/7. I don't think he survives the first round, but if he does, he is alive. He's alive for a stoppage late himself. Yeah, so just note that, guys. Better times. What you got?
Yeah, you actually nailed it. If he does survive the first round, then Campbell he tends to leave himself a little bit more open as the fight goes on. He cannot do that against Trevor Peak. Trevor Peak just throws and throws and throws, and yeah, I think a good prop would be like probably the round 3 KO. But other than that, man, I think early, man, Campbell is just too fucking good. Like his strikes, his movements, his ability to read his opponents and determine the range that he needs to strike at. Everything is just beautiful to watch early, and I don't think Peak is gonna be able to fucking. I think he's just gonna go fucking ham like he does once he gets frustrated, which will be leave him even more open. Campbell's gonna fucking finish him. But yeah, if he survives that first round, the second round will probably be just that with a little bit less output, and the third round will be Peak's opening for a knockout.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Charlie Campbell the reason why we thought that um oh shit, the guy from Scotland, I can't think of his name right now. The
Chris
guy he fought,
Duncan.
Chris, isn't he the reason we thought Chris Duncan had a bum chin because this man just kept getting hit and getting hurt by this guy? It just turned out this guy's fucking powerful. Like the kid's got real legit power. We haven't seen anybody stumble Chris Duncan like that since. Like the kid's legit. I mean, the power's legit. And I thought he was. I was pretty sure that was who we were seeing getting that contract that day until that hell of a hook. Man, he came back on that hook. But yeah, I think while he's a junkyard dog and his motor runs, I don't think he's as powerful. He just kind of overwhelms people. So yeah, I think he's strong as far as like grappling wise, but we're not going to see a grappling fest here if it's up to Charlie Campbell. Aussie.
Yeah, man, we're seeing in Campbell's fight with that Duncan fight, man. He can get cracked, and Pete can crack too, man. I know he's a bit of a meme. People think he's a fucking bit of a goofball, but and he gets tired too. Pete gets tired as well, but he never stops trying to take your head off, man. If he's gonna miss, he's gonna miss big. He's gonna throw punches that almost spin himself around. You know, he throwing those stupid jump in the air, tomahawk, hammer fists. Um, he's a character for sure. But that three piece that Campbell landed on Reyes in his last fight was beautiful. It was perfect. And there's just technically it's such a big difference with, like you were saying, Campbell throws straight punches down the pipe. He's very, proficient with his striking, whereas Trevor Peak's just fucking throwing
Technician like.
windmills. Yeah. It's such a big difference, man. And I think that's really going to frustrate Peak. He's going to get hit a lot, and when he gets hit, he just throws just crazy strikes, and that's where you get countered, and that's where you get knocked out. And I think Campbell can probably counter some big looping strikes, just land with some precision strikes, and get him out of there. But I'd be really surprised if this fight goes the distance. If it does, it's probably because Peak's holding him against the cage. But Campbell, he dropped that Reyes guy a couple times. Um, in one round. So he's got legit power too. And
Yeah, but we knew we
yeah,
knew we knew that Reyes Chin. That's that family curse, boy. They can't take no punishment. Him or his brother. We knew the side on that one.
yeah, that's true. But he was hitting him with everything, man. He's hitting him with leg kicks. He's cutting off the cage really well. We see a lot of guys circling the cage, but he cuts it off really well, and you don't see that too much. But this fight, I think a lot of it we're going to know straight away who's marching forward, and it's going to be a test. Both of these guys are going to be the one want to be the one pushing the pace. They're going to be the one moving forward. Whoever breaks first and starts circling the cage is probably losing this fight. So yeah, it's going
Yeah,
to be an entertaining fight for sure.
if Charlie Campbell doesn't knock out Trevor Peak, nobody's going to knock out Trevor Peak because he's going to walk onto these shots, man. Like he's going to give, like you said, he's going to give Charlie every opportunity to knock him out until he's either tired or he's knocked out. Uh,
Yeah.
so if this fight goes past round one, holy shit! That's all I got to say. Better times.
Hey, I'm about to have to get back on the bus, and y'all are gonna probably be done by the time my next break. So y'all mind if I get my prediction on the main event?
All
Shoot.
right, after.
All right, look, I didn't even have to do no tape study, real quick for this one because I already knew what was gonna happen the first fight. Brandon Allen was gonna piece Chris Curtis up, but Curtis has such good counters with his boxing, and the reason he knocked Brandon Allen out is because he does not move his head at all. At all. He's not going to take Chris Curtis down. It's going to be a striking fight. Chris Curtis is going to do the same thing. He's going to time him, hit him with the power shot, and because he doesn't move his head, he is going to get knocked out again. I got to go.
I agree with you, Wordsworth. Have a good time, buddy.
Mic drop.
All right. So is that our next fight, Andrew?
That is not our next fight, but we will eventually get to that fight.
Yeah.
We are going to the heavyweight division. We have Walter Walker taking on Lucas. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say his last name. I want to say it's Brzeski.
Brzezinski.
Brzezinski.
Say it one more time.
Brzezinski.
There we go. Perfect. Walter Walker, if I'm not mistaken, is Johnny Walker's brother. He is 11-0. He's undefeated, and Lucas is 8-4, 8-4-1 with the no contest. Lucas has lost his 3 fights in the UFC, so he's looking for his first win. Obviously, Walter is looking for his first win as well. I don't have any credentials on Walter Walker. I apologize, but we have a heavyweight fight. I don't. Do we have a free over, guys? It kind of seems like we do, don't we?
No, we do not. Lucas Brzeski fucking sucks. We're not breaking this fight down. He's going to lose. There's nothing to talk about. The pictures you see, if you don't know who he is and you look him up on Tapology or SureDog, the pictures you see are not him. That is steroid Brzeski. He got popped as soon as USADA came into the pool, and he ain't looked like that since. And his ass been so fat and out of fucking shape, he ain't had enough time to get back on the juice enough for it to fucking matter at this point. So, yeah, fuck this fight. Brzeski fucking sucks.
Yeah, so I'm taking a different approach in this fight. I'm actually going to wait until the weigh-in. If I see any significance of the Brzeski of old, the juice head, the man that we were ready to see in the UFC, that guy that did not have titties. We were excited about that guy, and I think if he comes back and he's juiced, now that we know no more USADA, if he looks like he's got a little bit more a better stature, I'm putting money on him, dude. I'll take a shot on that plus $300 against a debutant who is mostly getting this fight off his brother's name and a padded record. Realistically, we've seen the Johnny Walker chin not hold up, and we knew Brzeski at one point did have knockout power, and this is a big step up in competition. Yeah, if Brzeski doesn't look like complete shit on the scales, I might take a shot on him at plus 300.
Bro, besides the fact that he's dog shit, he is going to be so much smaller.
But dude, everybody in that division is dog shit now. Like outside of your top five, like they're all dog shit. So like, why not take a shot on a dog that's at least been in the UFC, who has went to two decisions with people that are actually somewhat decent. He did get knocked out by oh shit, I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. The Salsa Boy. He got knocked out by Salsa Boy, Cortez Acosta. He got knocked out by Costa. Not the greatest look, but Cortez Acosta is kind of looking like he might be somewhat of a prospect in that division, in a division that doesn't really have any prospects. So, uh, yeah, man, if he doesn't look like
Who
complete shit,
knew?
I might
What
take a
the
shot on
fuck?
him. What's that?
Who knew? And I said, who knew that Waldo was being brought in to become a prospect? Who knew? Anyway, bro, it's a waste of money. That's all I have to say. It's a complete waste of your fucking money. He is gonna get knocked the fuck out. It is not even a question. He's getting
I don't
fucking.
know, man. I think I've seen people talk about it, and I agree, man. I think we have to take post USADA into consideration in these fights now, man. These guys are going to be hitting harder. They're going to be on the juice. They're going to be on more supplements they couldn't have been on before. We have to take that into account. We know he was a juicer in the past, and we knew he had. I mean, it's what got him here.
Bro,
We
I
know he
can
had
promise
success.
you 4 months is not enough to fix that guy. He had a
Oh,
six pack.
dude, in that
Then he
division,
started
yeah, in
walking
that
around
division,
like
yeah.
Jared Vandera. He went from a
Ozzy,
six pack to Jared Vandera, bro.
Jared Verdun look good nowadays, bro. It can happen. Ozzy, what you got?
Yeah. First of all, you got to look at Brzeski now. He does look jacked. He's back, Joe. He's back. He's back on the shit. He's going to get suspended again. He's going to have the better cardio here. I don't know if you watched this. Walter Walker's fight against Alex Nicholson, who used to be a UFC fighter, but I thought he was going to
Anna
have a
Goldie's
fucking
baby
heart
daddy.
attack, man. Oh man, he was so tired, man. He's sucking all the oxygen out of that arena, and he's just lucky that Nicholson was even more tired. Like this bloke, he's 6'6". He's a monster. He legitimately jumped up vertically in the air through a left hook and almost fell over, man. Like he's got zero stand up, man. He has nothing. He's not Johnny Walker. He's more of a wrestler. You know, he took down Alex Nicholson a bunch of times. He's really good at lacing the legs, holding you in top mount position. But man,
And by the way,
standing, he has
Nicholson,
nothing.
terrible. Nicholson has about two
Terrible.
and a half minutes. Has about 2.5 minutes of gas. He's
Oh,
fought in
both of these
every
guys.
every every organization you never heard of. Every bare knuckle organization, dude. He is his biggest claim to fame is that he has a kid with Hannah Goldie. So I don't even know. That ain't nothing to be proud about. Like, this dude's not good. And if you're going life and death with him, and you're
Bro,
only winning
Brzezinski
because
was as big of a layup as Walker is before he got in the UFC.
it doesn't, Joe. We gotta take into you gotta take into post use side. We talked about this before. Like, things are going to change, and we have to start taking that into consideration with these guys that we know that were users in the past. You got to, and it's a low level fight. It's a low level fight. Why not take a shot on the dog?
But yeah, you look at Bresky. I mean, his fight against Boudet, I think he won that fight. I don't know why the judges gave Boudet that split decision. I thought Bresky
You
clearly won
guys will
that.
never live Brzezinski down with me ever. It's never. He is forever your guys' fucking fighter.
He got out wrestled by Carl Williams. That could definitely happen in this spot. This big 6'6" bear could just take him down and hold him down. And Williams got 10 minutes top control. This bloke could do the same. Honestly, he really could. But I do like the over, man. I do like the over in this fight. Um, if anyone's finishing, it's probably Brzezinski round three. To be honest, if Walker manages to get an early takedown and actually throw strikes, maybe he can get something done. But I mean, this guy, I think this guy is shit. I was really excited about him. He's a massive dude, big, heavy guy, likes to wrestle, but he really doesn't do anything with it. And stand up, man, he has nothing, absolutely nothing.
Za.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a shot with Johnny Walker's brother that was born in Russia and parlay piece him. And I agree with Joe.
Fair enough. Don't know how much of a shot you're taking on minus 400, but hey, you might be on the right side of this. I might be an idiot. Andrew, what you got next for us?
We're gonna go to the lightweight division. We have the always fun to watch Ignacio Bahamondes taking on Chistos Giagos. Ignacio is 14-5. Giagos is 20-11. Bahamondes is obviously going to be the taller fighter. He is 6'3" at 155 pounds. Giagos is 5'10". Bahamondes has a 75-inch reach advantage to Giagos is 71. They both fight orthodox. Ignacio, clearly the striker, doesn't grapple. Giagos can strike and grapple. He obviously has the grappling advantage, so he definitely has a shot in this fight. They are both coming off of losses, so someone's got to win. Trace, what do you got, bro?
Dude, Ignacio has such a size advantage in this fight, man. He is such a big guy. He's going to have the reach advantage, the height advantage. He's going to be the stronger, more aggressive guy, the more powerful guy. I think this is a get right spot for Ignacio. I think we see a finish here, man. We know Christos does tend to break in fights. He does tend to quit, and yeah, I think he walks into something here, takes a few shots he doesn't like, and looks for a reason to quit. Uh, Very funny that his nickname is the Spartan because he does not have a Spartan mindset when it comes to fighting. I don't think he's got a lot of quit in him. Ozzy, what you got?
Man, I'm kind of the opposite. I really like Giagos at this price. Um, Bahamondes, man, I don't see what everyone else sees in this guy. Um, maybe the McDessie fight was just a one-off bad performance. I don't know, but McDessie's tiny, man, and he's got Tyrannosaurus Rex arms, and he came out there and he struck him for 3 rounds. That was crazy to see. Um, Roosevelt Roberts, whatever. I think Roosevelt Roberts is kind of grappling or nothing, Um, and Trey Ogden, yeah, I guess that looks good because Trey Ogden won the other week. But Ludovic Klein pieced him up on the feet, and Klein's another guy. He's not really tall. He's. I don't think this Bahamondes guy really knows how to fight tall that well. I think Giagos is kind of
You see how yoked he
the
was?
spot here. Yeah. I mean, he's definitely on the best supplements in that division for sure. But he always kind of has been. He still is too. He's looking great. But this is just, I don't know, man. I'm going to take a shot on Jargos at this price. I don't know how I can't. I just kind of have to. He's for the much better competition. I mean, Armin Sorokian, Tiago Moises. I mean, these guys fucking destroy Bahamondes as well. So yeah, I don't know, man. He's got a lot of experience. Fucking fought Charles Oliveira. Like this guy's been Gilbert Burns. I mean, he's lost to really good guys. and I don't think Bahamondes is a really good guy. So yeah, I'm going to take a shot at that price. That price is what do we got? Plus 260. Yeah, I'm going to take some of that.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Ignacio have some struggle in the past and inconsistency, so I don't blame you. Uh, I'm not rushing to put money on him at minus 300 or whatever he is either myself. So yeah, I don't blame a dog shot on a fight like that. Joe, what you got?
Um, sorry, I just hit. Never mind. Giagos is bread and butter is grappling. And if you don't want to say it's grappling, he's definitely going to get outstruck. It's not even a fucking question. He will get pieced up on the feet. Um, so his bread and butter is going to be to attempt to grapple. And I've talked about this in many other fights, so I don't have to kill it. But there comes a point where you are so tall and so long that the guy just can't out grapple you unless he can get the rear naked, unless he can just hop your back and grab your neck. You're just physically too long to wrap him up, to maneuver him, to have your way with him in the exchanges. And I don't see a path for Gigos. Like there's just not a conceivable path in my opinion. Zabets.
Yeah, I agree with you. Bahamondes, like he's a tall striker. Like he's not the best striker, but he's getting better. I'm gonna have to piece him with Johnny Walker's brother.
That's a good play. Put the over for the two chick fights on that parlay. I bet you get some better odds on it.
Bro, I'm always concerned about Baja Mundez making weight, man, because he has issues making 155.
That's a big dude making that weight class.
He's fucking huge for 155.
What we got next, Andrew?
Next, we're going to the featherweight division. We have Morgan Charrier taking on Chepe Mariscal. Morgan is 19-9-1. Chepe is 15-6-1. Morgan has a 1 inch height advantage, 5'8" to 5'7". However, they both have the same reach at 69. They both fight orthodox as well. Morgan last won his UFC debut rather quickly against Zucchini, and Chepe has won both of his UFC fights. One notably being Trevor Peek, and he won both of those fights as an underdog. He is an underdog in this fight as well. Trace, what you got, bro?
How do you beat the kicker? You crowd him. Chepe is going to weaponize his pace and pressure like he always does, and he's going to probably push this man to a decision. I like Chepe here as a dog. I think we see him take a 3-0 uh, record in the UFC all as a dog, man. He's been the dog in both his fights so far. He's 2-0. I don't think that changes here. I think we see him as a dog, or I don't think he's going to be a dog by the time we get to the fight week. I think we're going to see the line flip. Uh, I think Chepe is the side knocking out Zucchini. I mean, do you know who Zucchini is? I mean, doesn't really do much for me. It was fun. It was easy money. It was easy. It was an easy prop to hit that we cashed on if you were following. But I don't think he's going to be quite what people are hoping he is. The Last Pirate's a pretty cool nickname, but I think Chapo is going to fuck him up. What do you think, Za?
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Chepe, he's kind of like Nathan Landwehr, as when they're a dog, they just cash for some reason. And yeah, I gotta take my boy Chepe, but the guy he's facing is pretty good though. He's honestly, I think he's a really good fighter. So this probably go over, but I'm gonna take a shot with Chepe.
Ozzy?
The line is already flipping some places, Trace.
Yeah, I got him at plus 104. He's one of the him and Jermaine Durandamy are like one of the few people that I place bets on. Uh, and like I said, I'm gonna place a few late round props probably for both of those people. I think Chepe could get a late round finish, but more likely a decision in this fight. Ozzy?
Yeah, mate. That this both of these guys good fighters. They really are. I know that Cherry, the French bloke, he's got a lot of losses, but some of them came real early in his career. Um, but this Chepe bloke, man, he's been in there with really good fighters, and he's beaten some of them too. So yeah, I think it's you know, he's kind of really paced himself really well to only just be getting a UFC shot, you know, last year on the Contender Series. So I don't know, man. This is really close. I'm going to have a bet on this fight go split decision. I do think it goes the distance. I just don't know what's going to happen. I think they're really evenly matched. Um, I was watching tape on that French bloke. I thought, oh man, I like what I see here. You know, hopefully, you know, I can get a good price on him. Then I started looking at Chepe, and I'm thinking, shit, man, who's the underdog in this fight, man? I'm gonna have to take whoever the dog is, and then, yeah, the price is pretty much getting close to a pick 'em now. But yeah, I'm gonna have fight ends in split decision, man. I think that's gonna be a good bet. I hope I get a decent price on it. But yeah, I think this fight goes more often than not. I think both guys are tough. Both of them can take damage. We've seen that French bloke's been in some 5 round fights. Um, we've seen Chepe, you know, he's gone in there and he's fought, you know, Zalal and you know a bunch of these good UFC fighters. So yeah, I'm excited for the fight. I think it's going to be great. But this is kind of what all MMA Twitter's kind of divided on this one. This is going to be the I told you so fight of the week, where everyone picks a side, and yeah, we'll see what happens. But I like the split decision.
I think it's gonna be a high paced, fun fight for what it's worth. Though I just think he's just gonna outwork him. I think it's gonna be too much shit coming his way, and him not firing back enough. But we shall see. It's gonna be a fun fight for sure. If nobody else has a take, Andrew, what you got?
Co-main event time, featherweight division. We have two guys who gas as the fight goes. We have Alexander Hernandez taking on Damon Jackson. Alexander is 14-7. Damon is 22-6-1 with a no contest. Damon is 2 inches taller, 5'11 to 5'9. However, Hernandez has a 1 inch reach advantage, 72 to 71. Alexander Hernandez fights orthodox. Damon fights switch. They are both coming off of losses. Hernandez coming off of his loss to Algio, and Damon Jackson's loss coming to Corintillo. This should be an interesting fight. You have a striker versus a grappler. We'll see how this goes. Trace, what you got, bro?
Yeah, man, I like the Leech, man, but I don't think he's gonna win this fight. The longer this fight goes, the more it goes in his favor. Don't get me wrong, as we know, he does that. Alexander Hernandez does gas. If you push a pace on him, but if you let him fight at his own pace, he seems to be able to fight that pace throughout the entire fight. From what we've seen that last fight, um, yeah, I think we see that Hernandez is just too powerful and too strong early in this fight. I don't think that is he the Leech anymore? He goes by what does he go by now? He changed his nickname. But I don't think Jason Jackson, Action Jackson, whatever it was.
Yeah, it
Damon
used to be
Jackson.
Action, and then he changed it to the Leech recently.
Damon Jackson.
Oh yeah, Damon Jackson, Action Jackson. Uh, I think we see him try to get the wrestling going early, and him just not being strong enough to get Hernandez down. I think Hernandez is just a far more athletic fighter, the younger fighter, the more explosive guy, and I think we just see the power just be too much in this fight. I think Hernandez catches him early in this fight, round one KO prop. But if you are on Jason Jackson, round two and
Damon
round three
Jackson.
sub, yeah, sorry, Damon Jackson. If you're on Damon Jackson, round two and round three sub props, fucking money, buddy. You know he's gonna push the pace, and as long as that fight's going, he's gonna be coming forward, trying to fight, trying to wear down
That
uh,
was that was
Hernandez.
my hot take right there, Trace. Damon Jackson submission is the way this fight ends.
If he survives that round one, it is a Damon Jackson fight. Don't get me wrong. I just think he gets caught in this fight, but play both sides, man. Make it easy on yourself. Make yourself a profit either way. You should be able to get a good line on the KO prop round one, and you certainly should be able to get a good line on the sub props round two and three on FanDuel, especially with Jackson being such a big dog. But yeah, man, I think we see Hernandez win this fight. As much as I hate to say it, I do like Damon Jackson. Aussie.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. We're all on the same side here, man. I love Jackson's sub prop here. I don't see how he gets it done. outside of getting a sub. Don't if you're going to play him as a dog, don't play his money line. Wait for those props, man. Like if you can get plus 500 on Jackson sub, that's probably how he wins this fight. I'm really not interested in Jackson decision. If he gets a decision, it's probably because he's getting a lot of top control on the ground, and if he does, then he's probably going to get a choke of some kind. Um, Hernandez, he's going to have his opportunities. You know, he might win by knockout. He might win by knockout early. And if he does, I don't care if I miss my plus 500. You know what I mean? I'm not betting his money line. I'm betting him by sub. And like you said, sub 2-3. I mean, that's how you bet this guy. And you're not going to hit it all of the time. You don't. You only have to hit it every 5 times, you know, for it to be profitable. And he's already hit it a bunch of times. Yeah, Damon Jackson by sub and sub 2-3. Let's go.
Joe.
That's it. That was my take. You guys can have it.
All right, Andrew. What we got next? That was a co-main. Let me go to the main event, brother. Let's go. Making good time today.
Let's go. Why are you rushing me, bro? I'm just kidding. We have Brendan All In Allen taking on the action man, Chris Curtis. Originally, this fight was supposed to be Brendan Allen versus Marvin Vettori. However, Vettori pulled out. So in steps Chris Curtis. This is a rematch. Better said it earlier in the space. Chris put him out like a light. And that was very nice for me because I am a biased Chris Curtis fan. However, let's get into this. Brendan Allen is 23-5. Chris Curtis is 31-10 with a no contest. Brendan Allen is taller, 6'2" to 5'10". However, they have the same reach at 75 inches. They do both fight orthodox as well. They are both coming off of wins, so someone has to lose. Yeah, like I said, I'm a Chris Curtis fan. I think this fight goes the same way as the first one, or at least very similar. I think Brendan Allen's going to struggle to take him down, and I don't think he's going to outstrike Chris Curtis for 15 or for 25 minutes. I just don't see it happening. Trace, what you got, bro?
Like it's pretty impressive that this man's got almost 30 fights at 28 years old, and that's pretty pretty busy guy. Yeah, man, I tend to agree. I do think that we see Chris Curtis is starting to come. He's starting to kind of slow down in his career. He's not going to go further in his career. I would say we're not going to see a title shot of this guy. He's going to be a top 15 gatekeeper at some point. But man, this is just a bad matchup for him. For Allen, like you can't get this guy down. He's the better striker, the more powerful striker. Solid chin. Only been finished a couple times in 40 fights. Like I think a knockout and a submission each. Don't quote me. I don't have that pulled up in front of me, but historically very very durable guy. How does Brendan Allen beat him if you can't get him down? Like the dude's takedown defense is legit. You wear yourself out and then you force yourself to strike with him. Fake confidence because you have to be when you're standing with him, and then you get caught. I don't think it's going to be as clean or as pretty as it was last time. I think he tries to push the pace. He tries to start doing the wrestling, and then he gets caught. I think he goes to sleep again. Round 3 KO. Chris Curtis. Joe.
I cannot fucking believe all you guys. Are you fucking crazy? So, bro, Brandon Allen has leveled up so much in the past. What is it? 3-4 years since they fought, bro. He has leveled up so much, and I don't just mean in his takedown game and his submission game. I do mean in those places, but I also mean physically, strength, conditioning. Go watch that fight. That is Brendan Allen before the change. I'm not saying like I know what the change was. I don't know what changed in his life, but that is Brendan Allen before.
I'm gonna tell you what it is right now, Joe. I'm gonna make it very very easy for you, my friend. What changed was the competition. Sam Alvey, not a good win. Jacob Malkoon is starting to look a little better with age. I'll give him that. He's kind of up and down, but promise is there. Christoph Jocko. Actually, Malkoon won that fight. He may have lost in the cards, but Malkoon won that fight. Jocko, he won by rear naked choke. Christoph Jocko sucks. Andre Muniz sucks, and he was beating up Brandon Allen on the feet. Bruno Silva, you were just talking about how much Bruno Silva sucks. That was his last another win. Paul Craig, his last win, bro. That is the easiest fucking path into that top 15 that there is. Like
Rodolfo Vieira, Mark Andre Burrio, Walking Buckley. Bro, that's not exactly Killer's Row because he didn't beat anybody else. So what the fuck are you talking about? Chris Curtis don't have a fucking resume. His resume is Brendan Allen. That's
bro,
his
no, 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 no,
resume.
no. Here's the difference. Chris Curtis came to the UFC with a name already. Chris Curtis did not pad his record. Chris Curtis came here the fucking hard way. Chris Curtis has fought everybody outside of the organization. Like you can't compare like trying to say that his record's padded is fucking insanity. Chris Curtis is
I'm
legit.
talking about his UFC level competition that he has lost to and the UFC level competition that he has beat. That is specifically what I'm talking about. You're talking about Brendan Allen's UFC resume. I'm talking about Chris Curtis's UFC resume. I don't give a fuck what he did in 2016, bro. I don't care. I don't care. Tell me what he did in the past couple of years. He ain't beat nobody better than fucking Brendan Allen is beat, and that's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. And
Joaquin
man, I
Buckley is
had to.
Joaquin Buckley is arguably better than all them guys that you just named that I just named off that list.
Hey, bro, you know Kenny Robertson?
Yeah,
You do?
yeah.
Where'd he
White
fight?
guy, white guy.
Yeah, white guy. Where'd he fight?
Ex MMA. He fought in the UFC for a little bit.
What was his record in the UFC?
Oh, I don't know. I have to pull it up.
Bro, I'm just gonna fucking fuck with you over Chris Curtis's record. That's all. Bro, I feel like Brendan Allen has leveled up tenfold. Um, yeah, I really do. I don't think he can outstrike Chris. I'm not delusional. But physicality, I don't think it'll be the same fight at all.
Joe, you're a statistics guy. What is Chris Curtis's takedown defense? And what is
Takedown.
Brendan Allen's takedown
I
accuracy?
I get what you're trying to get at here.
Because that is his path to victory. If you can't get him down,
Chris
you
Curtis
cannot
has a
strike him.
92% takedown defense.
Exactly. One person in the UFC has gotten him down.
They don't show it. That's weird that they would credit him only at 92%. They don't show it. Who took him down?
Imavov.
They
Yeah,
don't
that's
show it.
the no contest. So
Oh,
they probably didn't get
Imavov
traded.
got 3 of them. I see it. I was looking at that
Yeah.
fight backwards. I
So
was
he had
looking at 3 of
100%
them.
takedown defense going into that fight, and everyone was bragging about it. And he got taken down 3 times against Imavov. But yeah, he's unreal. Like at that weight class, there's a lot of wrestlers in there. That's a really good stat. His counter wrestling is phenomenal.
And what is Brendan Allen's takedown accuracy, Joe?
58%. Oh,
So
47%. 47.
I didn't actually know that one. I just knew it wasn't that high. But yeah, man, like you're banking on a man to get somebody down on the ground that has historically been hard to get down on the ground. Man, I'm just playing the numbers game on this one.
All right. Well, here, let me explain it to you this way. The numbers game on this one is that Brendan Allen has a 47% takedown accuracy, and Amivov has a 31% takedown accuracy. So if you're just playing the numbers, that one doesn't swing your way there, bub.
I'm not talking about Imavov. I'm talking about Brendan Allen.
I know who has a better takedown accuracy than Amivov, and Amivov took Chris Curtis down 3 times. And if we go to Brendan Allen's most recent fights, I'll bet you that takedown accuracy is much higher if we count only his past 5 fights. I'll bet you it is much, much higher. Didn't shoot one. Oh, yep. So, see if I can calculate it in my head really quick. So that's 2 fights. Third fight would be. Come on, fucker. Show me the total attempts. So
Allen
he.
went 0 for 3 in takedowns against Chris Curtis in their first fight.
Yeah, and I'm talking about that he's leveled up since then, is my point. Is that he has leveled up substantially since then. In
Well,
his
he
last
got 2
five
against
fights,
Mel Kuhn. He got both takedowns against Mel Kuhn.
two of two against Malkoon, one of one against Jocko. Um, he went against Munoz. He got one of one against Silva. He got 0 of 2 against Bruno Silva. To be fair, and then against Paul Craig, he got 2 of 2
So he's rocking about 80%
in
since
the
they fought
past
the
five
first time.
fights, which is significantly different than
He's
the
33 or whatever it
47%
is,
that is shown.
47.
And if we go to Chris Curtis's last 5 fights, we know that takedown defense will go to shit because, that's not fair though. Amivov just happened, but bro, I think Brendan Allen gets the takedown this time. To be honest though, I'm not overly confident that he can get the actual submission. And if he can't submit him, I think he probably looks like a fish out of water trying to figure out what to do with him while they're on the ground. Zabets.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm taking Brandon Allen. I think he makes those decisions and corrects his loss.
Yeah, he's a guy I've been pretty impressed with as of lately. I don't know. I think he looks good. Um, Whatever. I mean, I guess we'll see. It doesn't. There's no right or wrong yet. There's no right or wrong yet.
I don't know, man. Calling somebody cum shot or calling saying cum shot in front of your kid, no, that don't impress me. I think he needs to get punched in the mouth again.
Yeah, I actually don't disagree with that at all. At all.
Oh, I remember that, Joe. You were upset about that day.
Yeah, I said it was shitty, and then the other one is Sean O'Malley having fucking sex conversations with his daughter on his lap because he's like, "Oh, I'm in a headset. Get the fuck out of here, bro. I don't want to hear that stupid shit. Don't want to hear that stupid shit."
Oh, the
Uh,
Yeah, while we're talking stats, guys, um, Brendan Allen has headlined 2 fight nights. In both of those fight nights, he got a submission rear naked choke in the third round. So that's going to be the bet. Sub round 3, Allen. He's hitting it at 100% in fights that he's headlining. So let's go for that. But he's finished his last 4 or 5 of his last 6 with rear naked choke submissions. That's a pretty insane stat. So if he does manage to get him down or takes his back standing or whatever the case may be, um, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. His obviously his back control is really good, and he's willing. His ability to get that sub. Say what you want to bet against Paul Craig. Paul Craig is a really good grappler. Maybe not the best defensive submission guy, but he's a good grappler on the ground. Andre Muniz, dude, he's fucking phenomenal on the ground. He broke Jacare's arm. He's tapping out these guys that are really, really good jiu-jitsu guys. So if he does manage to get Curtis down, what's Curtis going to do off his back? He's going to be like a Ninja Turtle, man. He's just going to lay on his back. And if it comes that third round, when you're down 2 rounds, that third round, you're going to have to start making risks. And you might turn around, give up your back. So, yeah, I'm going to go Allen sub. I'll go in late round sub as well, 3, 4, 5. And, yeah, I don't know. Curtis is just really hard fighter for me to get a cap on. I just don't get it. Most of his fights, he's really low volume. Then all of a sudden, his last fight, I think I had him to get less than 55 significant strikes. I think he got 55 in the first fucking round against Barriol. That fight was
yeah,
just insane.
140 altogether.
Yeah, it was just insane. Just it's both stood there flat-footed and just threw the whole fight. It was kind of crazy. And then he fights little guys like Gastelum and can't get it done. and then he fights big guys like Jack Hermanson who just dance around him and he throws nothing. He's a really hard fighter for me to kind of get a grasp on. But Allen, on the other hand, I kind of know what to expect out of him. He could get clipped early like he did last time, but if he doesn't, I'm interested to see this fight late, and I hope it goes late, and I hope Allen manages to get his back in some kind of exchange and get that choke because I will be having a bit of something on it.
You could
My
hedge with
big.
Curtis too. Oh, my fault. You could go.
Oh, you good, brother? You good? Go ahead.
Now I was gonna say he did bring up a lot of good points, Aussie. You could I honestly like those looks, and you could hedge with Curtis because like Curtis as a dog is a good shot, but yeah, you could get a trace.
My biggest hope from this card is Jermaine Durandamy wins this fight. I don't care how she wins it. Like I said, I'm going to be on the KO props, but that moves my heavyweight my champion by the end of 2024 parlay forward. I think they have Jermaine or Dumont like in their top 5 ranked or some shit like that. So or top 9 maybe it's top 10. But either way, it's 3 fights in this in 12 or 8 months isn't crazy. Maybe for a woman, maybe for the older division, but realistically, if she goes there and beats Demont, she's a fight or two away from the title. So I may not get it. I might run out of time. But
If
yeah,
Kayla Harrison wins at 300, your hopes are over because Kayla will fight for the title in September, and she will not defend in 2024 unless it is against Amanda Nunes for her return. So you can throw that fucking slip in the trash if Kayla Harrison wins at 300. In my opinion, that she will be handed that title on a platter, bro. And you know it. I'm not being a dick. You know they will hand her that title on a fucking platter if she wins.
yeah, and if they're smart, they keep her away from GDR.
Yeah, there's no reason to let that old wash. And I'm not actually talking shit right now. There's no reason to let that old washed up broad fucking at the end of her career try to come in and beat up Kayla Harrison. It does nothing for the UFC and their investment, especially after GDR has been fucking. We don't even have to get in her history about giving shit up and whatever. Fucking.
We say that, but you really don't ever know what the UFC has in store for the fighters they hire. This could be we bring her in and we fucking destroy her and prove to people that these other women that are saying that they're the greatest outside of our organization aren't really shit because once they come in here, they die. Like that could be that really. I mean, I don't think Holly Holm's that person, so it may not be the case in this fight. But I'm just saying, like you never can rule it out because sometimes they do just bring these people in just to try to crush them.
Well, they are, but not with Holly Holm on the prelims. Kayla Harrison and the UFC's hopes, in my opinion, beats Holly Holm, beats Pennington, because that's easy work. Let's be honest. Everybody's coming out of retirement because fucking Pennington has the belt. Everybody, Ronda Rousey's starting to talk about the UFC every goddamn day on social media. Like everybody is fucking sharks in the water right now. If Kayla Harrison beats Holly Holm, Amanda Nunes is coming out of retirement. It 100% guarantee you that if Kayla Harrison gets that 135-pound belt, Amanda Nunes is cage side for the title fight, and Amanda Nunes tells Megan O'Leary in the back that she is coming out of retirement. I fucking guarantee it,
Yeah,
Trace.
I think if that happens, Nunez walks to the cage after the fight.
Maybe, but I mean, I'll give you that detail, but it's very clear that Nunes wants to fight Harrison if she can win that title. It's very, very clear that she wants that fight.
But yeah, because if she fights her and she beats her, there is literally no one else to fight for that title.
Yeah, like,
There is
what are you gonna do? Try to tell us that Larissa Plachenko could have fucking beat her? Like, fucking
no. It'll be
kick
the,
rocks,
the
bro.
quote with the quote Clarissa Shields. That'll be who they're trying to say next. She can't even win, dude. Don't even get me started on Clarissa Shields.
Oh, she's fucking horrible, bro.
I
She's
still
fucking
can't
horrible.
believe Nunes retired. Like the division was hers. It looked like there was some easy layup fights. I mean, that first fight against Penna, whatever. She caught her sleeping. Big deal. She came out next time, trained, beat her ass. Like who was going to beat her? Like I could see her coming back if Holly Holm wins that fight. Are they going to give Holly Holm a title shot? Next thing you know, Holly Holm's a champion, and then fucking Nunes could walk straight in, beat her ass too. Like, I don't know why she retired. She must have been getting good money. You should just keep going until you lose the belt.
So what I think
That's what I
happened
think.
is she just became preoccupied, bro. And like most people, if you do something for a long time and you're good at it, at some point you just don't feel like doing it anymore. But then at some point, if you're competitive, you will be resparked. And if you're lucky, it's not too late for you to get back at it. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Maybe
I really feel like she made a lot of money. She
yeah,
made enough
maybe she's
money
got
that
fuck you money. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, she made enough money that Dana White was saying to cameras, like, listen, she's made a lot of money. And Amanda never, not once, disagreed with the fact that that was said. So I would assume she banked several $1,000,000 in her last few fights, especially like the Cyborg fight. She
Big A.
got paid.
Speaking of Cyborg,
Yeah.
what happened with the Fahea fight? Like they made this big thing about bare knuckle, like and acting like she was going to sign the contract to go fight bare knuckle against that girl, and then now she's saying she has no fight. Like I thought that was a signed deal. I thought we were watching that fight. I thought we were like a couple months away from seeing Chris Cyborg get her a bare knuckle belt, but apparently that fight's not happening.
Well, she's boxing right now, so I don't think she could sign that. She's got a boxing match coming up. And then she could probably move on to that. She's pretty pissed and vocal about the fact that the PFL is trying to hold her up, and I know why. I don't know how many fights or she has under contract with them. She wants back to the UFC. She's already said it. She wants to go where Kayla is. That's the fight that she wants is the Kayla Harrison fight, and just think about what cultivates if Kayla Harrison, Amanda Nunes is coming out of retirement, and Chris Cyborg is pre-retirement. Just you got to think of all that coming together, and Chris wants to be a part of that. It's very, very clear she wants to be a part of that. That's how. Even if she loses, I'll be honest. Even if she loses, that is how Chris properly writes off her MMA legacy, is fighting Kayla Harrison or Amanda Nunes in a rematch in the UFC. It's the only thing to me that makes sense, and I think she's really just trying to get out of contract with the PFL. I believe it.
I'm gonna be straightforward with you, Joe. Whenever this fight gets closer, I'm probably jumping on Holly. I'm probably gonna throw a few bucks on Holly Holm myself.
100%,
Like,
bro. Holly
like
Holm's gonna piece her the fuck up.
we have somebody who's never fought at 135, who has struggled, like openly said that she couldn't make the weight, who is going to have to cut muscle to get to that weight class. Who's going to have to get off the juice to get in that weight class. Like, I'm sorry, like I'm not somebody to talk about like a woman's facial features or like I made a joke earlier, probably shouldn't have made it, but I'm not one to talk about women's facial features, especially fighters. But like, she is one of the has to be the most manliest woman I've ever seen in MMA. Like, she has the thick neck of somebody that was been on juice for a long time. Like, she is just very solid built. Like, there's no way you can convince me that she's never been on juice. Like,
Oh, she's pissed dirty, Trace. That's why Ronda wouldn't. That was Ronda's excuse. I'm not going to fight a cheater. That was Ronda's excuse for not fighting her. I thought you
I didn't know. Like,
100%.
no, I don't do that kind of diving into that stuff like that. Like, no, I knew they trained together and that they were Olympians together and all that shit, and that they have a past together. But yeah, I didn't really dive into it.
No, I'm saying. Oh, you're saying Kayla, not Cyborg. You're saying
No,
Kayla.
I'm talking about Kayla.
So
Oh
you
yeah,
threw Joe
hundred
off when
percent.
you said the manliest woman. He immediately
Yeah. You
thought,
fucked me
Well,
up, bro.
if you, but
I was thinking of
honestly though, Cyborg looks more feminine nowadays than she ever had. Like she's definitely off the juice. Like
yeah,
she's
hundred
starting to look
percent.
like she's starting to look like a girl again. Whereas
I agree.
dude, Kayla looks rough.
I agree.
she looks like John
Kayla
Cena with the
Kayla
wig,
looks
man.
like her steroid dealer moved out of town lately. If I'm being
Like
honest.
whenever she like it shows her at like the UFC events and she's wearing like these cutout shirts and her dude fucking big ass biceps and
Jacked
bulging
up
her
ass.
her chiseled jawline. I'm like, bro, that's a man.
I want to be clear about something. I believe wholeheartedly that Amanda Nunes in a takedown situation would have out grappled Ronda Rousey. If she did not knock her out, I wholeheartedly believe that she could have out grappled her.
I'll say this too, man. Like Ronda Rousey, she was in the best shape of her life for that fight. She definitely
She
trained and
she out grappled Kayla twice. You
We
know
saw
that.
right there in that fight that all it really takes in the women's division, at least back then, was footwork to win. All she needed was better footwork. Just Ronda could never get a hold of her. Ronda could never grab her. She was always always on her bike, always skating away, always getting away. She could
Where
never
I
get a
was
hold of her.
where I was going with that though is Ronda beat Kayla at judo twice.
Oh, she did. Well, I was at
Yeah.
the Holly Holm
Or did
Ronda
I say
fight, man.
judo? Uh, um, I think it was jujitsu, not fucking judo. But yeah, Ronda beat her twice. Well, maybe it was judo because it was in the
No,
arena.
no, because that was how they were billing Kayla Harrison when she first came out. She was the teammate that beat Ronda Rousey and all that shit. Like she's supposedly the better of the two. They were roommates and all that
No,
shit.
no, 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 bro. I got the footage for you of Ronda tapping that bitch out. Ronda beat her. Ronda beat Kayla Harrison.
In competition, you're talking.
Yeah,
Oh no, that was that poor. That was like that Hispanic chick that in PFL they were trying to bill her as the next big thing. Y'all remember her? I have to figure out her name.
no, I don't. But yeah, I just seen it. I didn't even know, bro. I just seen that footage. Just went viral or went around of Ronda tapping out Kayla. I had never seen it before, to be honest. Did you guys see what Ronda said about leading up to that Amanda fight? That she had a concussion that she got like the day before.
I just read that on my timeline right now, as you say.
Bro, I'm
She
like,
definitely had one the day after.
she has slowly, gradually built a wall of excuses for why she didn't win that fight, in my opinion. Like, she's just slowly, gradually building this wall of reason that makes it not her fucking fault that she lost. Like, you got beat up. Amanda Nunes would have beat you up any fucking night of the week. None of us think any differently. Um, yeah, whatever. Oh wait, the
Oh,
Holly fight. Wait, was it the Holly fight or the Amanda fight? I literally came into the fight with a concussion from the. Oh, it was
it
the
was the
Holly
Holly fight.
fight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's trying to take that victory from you, Ozzy. You was there.
I was there, man. It was 55,000 seat arena in Melbourne, Australia. It was unreal, packed, sold out. They had fucking garden chairs down there for the fucking floor
bro.
seats.
True story, Ozzy. I'm not lying. There was no way to bet MMA in Michigan when they fought. I don't even think there were any books like offshore that you could bet MMA with, right? I told everybody I knew. Everybody. I swear to God, my mother fucking knew. I said, Holly Holm's gonna knock her out in the second round with a head kick,
Ooh,
left
that's
left
exact.
leg.
Me too, man. Me
Bro,
too.
I
Me and my
called it.
brother were the only two
I
there
was
that were cheering for Holly Holm.
Bro, I had people like text messaging me and shit like, congratulations. I'm like,
Oh man,
I don't
she had
Dude,
know.
how many
so,
round two head kicks had she had before that? And the writing was on the wall. That was how she
Bro,
won her
it was the
fights
math
before the
was
UFC.
so easy. Like
Yeah.
that was the first fight I remember ever really being able to look at and being like, no, everybody's wrong. She's gonna beat the fucking dog shit out of her.
Oh
What is
man.
dude,
everybody
I
talking
remember hearing
about?
somebody saying that Holly was a plus 600 dog or some shit like that. That's insane.
800,
Eight
bro.
No, no
hundred.
Plus
more. Yeah.
800.
Could you
Fucking
imagine?
plus
Could you
800,
imagine
bro.
what the KO prop on round 1, 2 would have been? Holy shit!
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Round two KO prop, bro, was probably
Uh,
fucking 2,200.
it was
Probably 20.
26. It was
Was it?
26. Yeah. Yeah. 26.
Jesus.
And you know what? In on the books in Australia, you could bet on Ronda Rousey to win within the first 10 seconds or between 11 and 20 seconds, between 21 and 30 seconds. That's how confident they were. And everybody in that arena, you could have heard like as soon as she threw that stupid fucking hook and kind of turned herself around, went face first in the cage and stood up.
Everybody in the arena lost their
Oh.
breath, right?
Man, I turned around and my brother, I said, "Motherfucker, we got this shit." And then she
Yeah.
comes around.
You cashed
And
it? You
yeah,
cashed
cashed
it?
it. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Only two
Fuck
people in the
yeah.
arena jumping up and down was me and my brother.
Fuck
Yeah, it was
yeah.
hilarious.
That's where Ozzy's addiction started, bro. That's when he started gambling.
Oh, it was before that. No, it was before that.
You know, he already had the plus 2,600 standing in the stands.
Yeah. Paid for the tickets. Yeah, it was
Oh, bro, you played
unbelievable.
for the whole deal with that fucking slip. That's badass, bro. But yeah, that was probably the easiest read ever. If anybody ever asked me my easiest read ever, that's got to be my easiest read ever because I wasn't even like breaking fights down, and it was so fucking evident. Like it was so fucking evident, and I had seen Holly box, so I knew Rhonda trying to say after that fucking Carrera fight or whatever that she was her coach saying she's the best female boxer in the UFC or whatever,
She's
bro.
beating world
I
champions.
remember
She's beating
thinking
world
like,
champions at the gym.
yeah, bro. I remember thinking she started saying I could outbox Floyd Mayweather, and I remember
Oh my
thinking, you
god.
know who Holly Holm is, right? And then it was like three
Edmund
weeks or 4
Tarvarian.
weeks
What a
3 or 4
setback.
weeks after they said it, bro, she said that shit. They were like, Ronda's fighting Holly Holm. I'm like, this bitch is gonna die. She is
That
gonna fucking die.
that
Remember
dude had like
they
the worst run in the UFC of any coach. Like Edmund Tarvarian, that dude was ass. Like his Ronda's mom openly hated that guy. And then
yeah.
he gets fucking like teeped in the chest by Fabricio Verdum. You remember that shit?
Yeah,
After
yeah.
he knocked out Travis Brown, like he beats up Travis Brown. Edmund starts talking shit to him. This motherfucker just rears back and kicks him in the chest.
Yeah, I do remember that. Where Doom
Dude,
was the man. Yeah.
Verdum didn't give a fuck throwing boomerangs at
Remember how he opened that fight?
who
He
was that
just
against?
ran up, did a
Who did he
flying
throw that
fucking
boomerang
kick.
at? He threw a boomerang at Colby Covington.
Colby Covington. Yeah.
Was it Kobe or Chael?
No. It was
It was
Colby. He
Colby.
was representing Australia, man. He threw it right at him, called him a faggot, and yeah, hilarious.
Yeah, whatever. Andrew, you got some fight announcements, bud?
Yes, sir.
What you got?
I got barbecue chips. That's what I got.
Y'all ain't got no
Bro,
better made chips,
you
huh?
started eating like 3 hours ago.
Bro, you ain't got no better made chips, huh? I'll mail you some.
Some what chips?
The brand is called Better Made. They're made with like clean oil and shit. It's been the Detroit brand for like probably close to 100 years. I'm not fucking around.
Oh, okay.
That's what our stores are full of.
I usually like the kettle chips. I'm a fan of them.
They have a kettle chip. They have
You
a
ever had
kettle.
Zaps?
No, I've never heard of those ones either.
Dude. So they're out of New Orleans, but they're all over the place now. Look for them in like grocery stores. There's Zaps. They're the kettle ones like you like, dude. Fucking banging.
Yeah, they were
Yeah, sure.
they surfaced here for a while. They didn't. They're not around no more here.
I got you. Shit. I'll try any chip, man. I like chips. Um. All right, so we'll start off with UFC St. Louis, May 11th. We have a main event. I shouldn't be surprised. It is Derek Lewis and Rodrigo Nascimento.
I mean, yay, Derek Lewis, boo, heavyweight. It's the main event.
Dude, Derek
Yeah,
Lewis is like 40 years old, man. I just
God, dude.
don't care about him like that
He
anymore.
is he has headlined a bunch of fights, man. Derek Lewis. He's been a headliner a lot of
Yeah,
times.
but I feel like he's got Nascimento. He should be able to clip him.
They've sucked every bit of juice out of Derek Lewis, the UFC.
where are they fighting? Where are they fighting?
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Oh, that might be it for Derek.
Why?
That's not far from where he lives. He can probably get all his family there. Derek's getting old, bro.
Yeah, dude,
And,
he's pushing 40, bro.
and he been getting beat up and shit. I mean, maybe not, but I'm just not going to be surprised when Derek Lewis says I'm retiring and everybody's like, whoa, who's seen that coming? Writing's been on the fucking wall forever, man.
He been trying to quit for about like 5 years now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
you
saying.
know,
Writing's been on the wall forever. He's fucking done.
one of his very first fights in the UFC. Afterwards, he got on the mic saying he just wants to do this so he can pay off his house. Like, and then he's gone off to make so much money, motherfucker.
You
He's got
know,
a Ferrari.
his coaches have vouched that until he lost to, God damn it, I can't remember, bro. He was like
DC.
7 to 10, maybe more than that UFC. Yeah, because it was DC. Bro, he had never trained more than like 30 or 40 minutes, and he would only do it 2 to 3 times a week.
I believe it, man. I believe
He would
it.
just go in there, and his coaches were like, he would kind of do nothing, hit some pads, and go home. And
He's just
Derek's like,
blessed with
my
them
knee
hands,
bothered.
man.
He said his knee bothered him, or his back. Was it his knee or his back? His
No,
back.
Bro,
you're right,
hey,
Joe.
It
It
was his
was his
back.
back. I remember. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was his back.
I'm not saying they're the same person, but I know another guy that was a lot like that named Bo Jackson. They're both black. They're both beasts. I don't know. They might be the same person.
Yeah, right, bro. Derek Lewis is dude. Derek Lewis can't even spell athlete. Like he's nowhere near an athlete. Yeah, dude. Bo, like
Oh God! What's the next fight?
Yo, I don't care what nobody says. The Ronda Rousey call out by Derek Lewis is still some of the funniest shit ever.
oh,
Oh,
dude,
bro,
him
before
on
Ronda
the
the
Rousey,
mic is
time,
where's
absolutely
your fine
priceless.
ass at?
it's
He is
not
priceless.
timeless. It's not timeless like my balls is hot and shit. But if for a fan at that time, like as you'll
That's what
never
started it.
mimic.
That's what
Yeah, but
started
and
it.
you'll never mimic how awesome it was when he said, "Where Ronda Rousey fine ass at?"
Yeah,
Dude,
that's when we met Derek Lewis for the first time. Like that was the real his personality came through.
yeah, that was his coming out party for sure.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree with
yeah.
that. I
And then
agree
he
with that.
started the "he's okay" shit on Instagram.
Dude,
Joe
those are the
Rogan blew
best
that
because
up for him.
they're never okay.
No, they're all dead. They're fucking dead.
I
Yeah,
remember, dude. I remember
hilarious.
he posted a video online. He was at a game and he was recording this chick like doing a fucking line in the fucking stands, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
I remember that.
He's probably
I
like, he's
remember.
Was that
okay.
was at the ball game? Yeah,
Yeah, bro. Is that like a base? I think it was an
yeah.
Astros game.
He had some fucking ordinary seats too, man. He did not get the star treatment at that game.
Ah, that shit's funny, bro. He's awesome. Don't get me wrong. I love the guy, but yeah. Anyways,
I would love to see him retire with his wits and shit though, because he is such a funny guy.
oh yeah. I mean, he hasn't.
Like I hope he don't stick around for the money and get fucked up. Is what I'm getting at.
Well, so I think because he keeps coming back because they keep paying him. You know what I mean? And I think now he probably has like sponsors and shit outside of the UFC to the point where he's starting to realize like, hey, I don't actually have to fight anymore.
I think you said he owns a Popeye's chicken.
Huh?
I think he said he owns a Popeye's chicken restaurant.
Oh, he franchises one?
I'm pretty sure I heard him say that.
I got you. All right, so we'll move on to the following week, UFC Vegas 92. We have Chaos Williams taking on Carlston Harris. That's an interesting one. I don't know. Chaos Williams is fun.
I need to correct myself real
Out,
quick.
but when he doesn't knock people out, he's just like
Hell
not
yeah,
very
he has.
skilled. He's not very skilled.
What?
Hey, Andrew, I need to
It's a
correct myself real
Turkish
quick.
chicken, right?
I need to correct myself. No, he can't pass a Popeye's chicken without stopping at one. That's what it was. That's why he can't make like heavyweight. That was his excuse because he can't pass a Popeye. He said he got one all around his house.
Anyway, better times.
I didn't even know that fight existed. You said Carlston Harris and Chaos Williams, right?
Yes, sir.
Dude, I think that's Carlston. Dude, that's easy money for Carlston Harris, man. That dude can do it all, and he's too dangerous to just go in on because he's got these long arms, and he can hit you at a distance, but he can also like strangely hit you with so much power in close too. He's like, yeah. Carlston Harris is the pick on that one. That's easy money.
He's getting old though, isn't he?
Who cares? It's easy money.
I don't know if he's old or he just looks old. I think he just looks old.
It's definitely not easy money though.
Nah, I'm with better. Let's
yeah,
go.
round one is going to be rough.
So we have a UFC 302 on June 1st. We have Phil Rowe taking on Jake Matthews. Interesting. Vet versus vet.
Man, that's a boring fight. And I
I was
like
about to
both the
say
guys.
next. Don't talk about that dumbass fight.
Okay, well, if you don't want to talk about that fight, then we're definitely going to talk about this fight. UFC event on June 8th, the following week. We have Brad Katona and Jesse Butler.
Come the fuck on, bro. Come
Katona and who?
on.
Katona's fighting who?
Brad Katona is fighting Jesse Butler.
Who the fuck is
That'd
that
be
guy?
like a minus 1,000.
Oh, dude, I got Joe going on that. That was great, bro.
Trace is really asking, who the fuck is that guy?
You got me on that one.
Wait, didn't he get knocked out by Jim Miller?
Maybe.
Yes. That's the dude he starched in like the first round when everybody was calling him old, right?
Oh, then it's probably just going to be Katona by decision. Move on.
All right. We have the same card, June 8th. We have Cody Stamen and Taylor Lapilus.
Okay,
I
nobody
forgot
cares,
Cody
but
Stamen
that's
was in
not
the
a bad
UFC.
fight. Yeah.
What?
I forgot he was still dude. He went on a bad losing streak before getting a win. I'm surprised he's still in the UFC.
Oh, we just saw him last year at the convention. And we saw him at the Hall of Fame ceremony, too.
I'm gonna look at his record real quick. I might be full of shit. Hang on.
Joe, that was a Hall of Fame
Keep doing
ceremony
you.
where we saw him in line, right?
No, we saw Cody Durden in line.
No, it wasn't Cody Durden.
Yeah, was he had a fight cowboy hat on?
Yeah, that was Cody Stamen. 100%.
With the hot girlfriend?
Yes.
We met a lot of fighters, bro. I believe you.
Yeah, we didn't meet Cody Durden. That would be
Have you
cool.
seen Cody Durden? You think that ugly motherfucker got a pretty girlfriend? Come on.
No, when you can beat people up,
Yeah, she a 10, bro.
you tend to beat him up and take his girlfriend. I don't know. That's just how it works.
All right, we have
So Stamen is 2-3 in his last five. Lost to Saeed Nurmagomedov, Merab Dvalishvili, and Douglas Silva. All good losses though. Those are all top guys
wow, you really went and looked that up.
for the team, brother.
I've got 5 fight announcements for the UFC Saudi Arabia card, June 22nd. We will start it off with Sharabutin Magomedov, aka Shara Bullet. He is taking on Ihor Poteria. I see a knockout, if you will.
Shara Bullet.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy is, but he's probably going to knock out. He's going to win.
Yeah, bro, that dude's the truth, man. You're gonna want to watch him fight.
Dude,
Yeah,
he's
He's gonna
it's fucking
he's literally gonna kick the shit out of Ihor. Like just kick the
That's not
fuck
the
out of
dude
him.
with one eye, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
him?
Oh man, he's gonna spin kick his fucking head off. Yeah.
Dude, I'm thinking round 1 knockout. Like I don't think you can bet anything else.
I mean,
Oh,
dude,
Yeah,
the,
that's
the
it.
bullet. The bullet's a perfect name, bro, because he comes straight for you, man. He's so fucking nasty.
Hey, you seen the footage of him fighting in the mall and shit, though?
No.
Who
I heard he
cares
almost
about that?
lost. I heard he almost got his
Yeah.
ass kicked
Yeah. He didn't look all that
by a
good.
pedestrian.
Yeah, he ain't look that great.
Let's be
Oh.
honest, dude. All them motherfuckers are hard in Russia. Come on.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, the camera was forever away and down angle. The dude could have had 30 fucking pounds on him. You can't really tell at down a flight of stairs at angle. You know what I mean?
You just didn't know he was fucking fighting Fedor.
he might have
Yeah.
blindsided him. It's not too hard to blindside that
It,
guy.
it was actually Sergey Pavlovich, and that's why it was so close.
That's why it was so close, huh? What else you got on that card, Andrew? Anything closer than that?
Next up we have the Wiley vet, Kelvin Gastelum, and he's going to be
Jesus,
taking
man.
on
I knew
D-Rod,
you were
Daniel
going to tell me about
Rodriguez.
this.
That's a good fight, but I'm not
It's
betting it at
evenly
all.
matched. I don't know if it's good.
I think it's going to stay
It's
striking
Rodriguez.
fun, but I mean Gastelum can easily outlast Daniel for sure.
Man, I'm over KG, man. Like
Bro, if I have to talk
I've
about
rode,
another Calvin Gastelum fight, I'm gonna rip
dude,
my fucking
I've
eyeballs out.
rode for him for so long. I've lost so much fucking money on this dude. It's just like, what are you even doing anymore, man? Like you first off, you're fucking dirty, bro. I've never seen anybody stats as much as you do. But like you can't even rely on him to get there healthy because he's an idiot. I
Well,
don't
he's
know,
at
man.
170 now.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, 170, which yeah, okay.
But still, he's still gonna be the much smaller guy in this fight.
Yeah,
And
that's still a tough fight.
he's gonna be the much slower guy in this fight too.
I don't know, man.
Not about. I don't know about
His
that.
hand
No.
speed's pretty quick, man. He got some fast hands.
He's got a fast jab on the step in. He don't really have in the exchanges. He's not gonna be faster than D-Rod boys. It'll be noticeable.
It's gonna be a
I got
good.
a
I think it'll be a fun fight if they actually box, man.
I got a
No.
quick
See,
Calvin Gastelum
Kevin's
story
foot
for you.
got. Go ahead.
He was meant to be fighting in Australia, and I can't remember if he ended up making weight or not. But I ran into him at a fucking local Subway shop, man, like a couple days before the fight, and he's just ordered his big foot long Subway sandwich. I'm like, that motherfucker looks just like Calvin. And as soon as he walked out, he started shoveling it into his face. And he took one of the biggest bites I've ever seen. I said, Kelvin. And he shit his pants, man. He almost had a heart attack that he got recognized. I said, haven't you got a fight coming up? And he just got in his car and drove off, man. So he must have gotten his car, driven away from his camp, gone to the fucking Subway sandwich joint, and then driven back. And he took off before I could take a photo.
You caught that man. You got that man taking a cheat meal.
I caught him sneaking a fucking Subway sandwich, man. Yeah, hilarious. And it was way out of the way, dude. I don't know what he was doing in Dandenong, but it was
He knew what he was
yeah.
doing.
Yeah, he knew
Nobody
what he
knew
was
his
doing.
ass over there,
He,
so he thought.
he jumped straight in his car so fast, man, took off.
That's funny. That's funny. What else is on that card, Andrew?
Next, so this one's an interesting one because this fight announcement at least threw me off guard, and I'll explain why. We have Sergey Pavlovich taking on Alexander Volkov. The reason why I was thrown off guard is because the day before this fight was announced, it
Jailton
was
Almeida.
announced that Volkov was going to fight Jailton Almeida. So then out of nowhere, he gets rescheduled to fight Pavlovich. Now, I'm actually excited because this is going to be a striking matchup, and I like Volkov. But yeah, it definitely threw me off considering the
We
time.
should tag that Shackle guy and the UFC, and we should have Shackle get on the UFC about checking their sources before they post shit.
Well, so it was
Don't they train
Marcel.
together?
I don't know. That I don't know.
So
I made a tweet about this fight. Actually, I feel like, dude, it was just like they announced that fight, and then Sean and Mick got together. They made that fight. Silently, like, oh yeah, Dane's was so happy. Then it comes in the next day, like, what the fuck are you idiots doing? Volkov's gonna kill Jailton. Yeah, you gotta cancel that fight. So,
Yeah, you could have
so
fucking
I
killed this
think they're
kid.
protecting. I think they're protecting Jailton. I think they thought about doing it, and then like, fuck, you can't do that. We're gonna kill Jailton. Because Volkov would have pieced that motherfucker up from a distance, like no doubt.
Either that or Jailton is going to get moved to the Brazil card.
They're gonna build that man back up. They're not about to throw him back into another tough fight. Like he wasn't supposed to lose that Curtis Blades fight, but cash that one for your boys. I think me and Better actually went at it on that one, didn't we?
Yeah, I went at it with a couple people on it. I was wrong.
Hey, I'm not poking fun. Just hey, you got me on quite a few as well, my man. But yeah, I was actually like, fuck. Like I gotta go back and tell Better that he was right, and then we saw some weird shit happen, and he went to sleep.
Dude, I was surprised at the first one. I was like, holy shit, I'm right. And then that happened.
Yeah, man, just at dog money, I couldn't pass that man up. But yeah, man, just like yeah, weird matchmaking. Andrew, who do you think wins in this fight, man? You like Volkov or you like
dude, I have like a very hard read on Pavlovich, because he just goes out and starches dudes, but then he just really exposed himself in the last fight against Tom. I wasn't expecting Tom to beat him that way. I was expecting him to beat him on the ground. So I'm not sure. You know what you get with Volkov. Volkov is great as long as it's rare that he gets outstruck in a fight. You know what I mean? Usually he struggles with the grapplers. So this is an interesting fight. I don't have like a strong read on this without watching tape.
Yeah, I mean, and outside of like Derek Lewis, I mean, he's so fucking durable. Like you have to imagine that it's dangerous for Volkov in round one, maybe. But I honestly think what's his name? The rest.
Pavlovich.
Pavlovich?
I think Pavlovich is honestly the Pavlovich that we've seen is closer to the guy that fought Alistair Overeem and Tom Aspinall than the guy that beat Derek Lewis. In the sense that I think he was had advantageous matchups. He got Derek Lewis obviously on a decline. Um, Obviously the guy hits hard, but I think his chin. I think outside the first round, he's not really a problem, man. I think he's dangerous in that round one, and he's real dangerous in that round one. But if you can strike with him, I think he's not going to do too well. I don't think he'll ever see the belt. And I was on Tom Aspinall for that fight. I had to eat a lot of crow before I was right on him though. Honestly, I mean coming up because I didn't think he was going to be very well. But he made me eat a lot of crow, but I ended up cashing on the Aspinall ticket, so I'm happy with that. Kind of got off topic there. Sorry about that, Andrew.
No, you're good. Good shit though on that ticket. So we have two more fight announcements for this card. We have Johnny Walker taking on Volkan Ozdemir. I think they're kind of setting Johnny up for this. This is to get him back on track, don't you think? Volkan's I feel like Volkan's towards the end of his career.
Yeah, but
Oh,
I mean, Vulcan is shown to be dangerous though, man, and Johnny's shown to be susceptible to get knocked out, man. Uh, he got that. What was his name? No time. He got that from knocking people out, man. He was starching people when he come in here. Uh, I think either one of these dudes should get the knockout. I just think that Johnny's a little bit more suspect in the chin region, but he seemed to be improving here, and Volkov seemed to be declining. So
I just feel like
interesting fight.
Walker's gonna be able to do well with the range. I feel like he's going to keep him at bay.
I think
Who did
somebody's going to
Volkov
sleep.
just tap out? He just won by submission, yeah, in his last fight. Who was that against?
Give me 1 second. I'll find.
Better times.
He beat Bogdan Guskov.
That's who he submitted,
But
was it?
yeah, Guskov, right? Yeah, it
Okay.
was Guskov.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro.
That's it.
That
yeah,
was
you're
an
right.
easy fight though. But I don't know if that's a setup fight. I don't see Uzdemir on the decline. I just think he has some really tough fights. He's always been that guy. Like if you fuck around, you're gonna find out. He'll knock you out
Yeah, his losses are
real
to
quick.
Jiri Magomed, and Nikita Krylov, and Krylov has
Yeah,
been kill or be killed his entire career. So like that's not a bad look, man. Like
it's the
Nikita's
height.
legit.
It's the height. He can't fight tall guys. Johnny Walker's too tall for him.
Yeah, he's got that off button though, Jimmy.
But Johnny's
Not on
not
his
that
He's
chin.
got
explosive
short
though.
arms.
Johnny's
He's
head
got
does not
short
move.
arms and he needs to be able to run in and throw a combination on you and catch you with it to hurt you. And he is not going to be able to do that against Johnny Walker. I don't even think Johnny Walker's good. But Ozdemir's path to victory is when you drop your hands or when you slow down or he thinks that you're not expecting, he's going to take a small sprint at you and try to throw 3 or 4 punches in a flurry combination and try to catch you to hurt you. And Johnny Walker's going to be big enough to just John Jones him and keep him at distance and piece him up and touch him and keep him at distance. And I just don't see how Ozdemir is able to get to him. Is all I'm
But
saying.
he,
Like,
he he's not really a John Jones type. If you remember Magomed Ankalaev, he was able to get around the fucking length by an overhand, was it left or right? Because he always drops his hands whenever he throws. Like that's all Uzdemir has to do is let him throw, let him drop his hands and come over the top. It's gonna happen.
but Ozdemir doesn't come over the top, bro. That's not how he fights. He's not a guy that does that. And I didn't mean literally John Jones in style. I just meant how John's able to keep to maintain the range because he's so much longer than everybody else. Johnny's going to be so much longer than him. He will control the range, and um, Yeah, I
You're
mean,
right. He doesn't go over the top.
So
Okay,
I've
you
said
might
this.
have a point there.
he doesn't. He does not throw over the top, bro. I'm telling you, you won't find it. He's got to land them hooks, and he's got to get in on people. And I mean, I'm not saying he can't hurt Walker. I just don't see how he's able to get in on Walker. I just don't see the path.
I've said it multiple times, like, almost every time we talk about Johnny Walker. Honestly, I think he should move up to light or to heavyweight, man. I mean, he's so big at 205. Like he could go up and be fucking massive at like 240, 250. That dude would be like he'd be almost fucking like Ngannou esque, like in stature, I'd imagine. And like
His brother there though.
that might fix the chin issues. I think that's why he hasn't moved up because he's like he figured his brother's gonna make it to the UFC at some point. But like I
It's
How many
just
honestly I don't.
heavyweights? How many heavyweights have we seen that don't even have punching power these days, man? There's a lot of fat, sloppy heavyweights. He could roll right in and just walk over. I think.
Dude, he could do the same thing Giles has done. Obviously, not through the grappling, but through the power. I mean, the speed and power is there, and the explosiveness.
Athleticism, yeah, yeah.
I
Like
think
his
y'all should on that part.
and now the I think with him going up in weight, he wouldn't be dehydrating himself. That would also fix some of the fatigue issues as well as he's faced throughout his career.
And he could
He could be
spell
he could
athlete.
be that explosive guy the entire fight in that weight class. Like honestly, I think he's doing himself a disservice by not going up.
Yeah,
But when
and
was the last time he was explosive?
he walks at like
Every fight.
234.
Like he is a fucking elbow, a flying knee away from putting somebody to sleep at all
But
times.
like when he bursted on the scene, like remember that explosiveness.
That was
He's never.
recklessness,
He has
though. It was recklessness. He's not. He's more calculated now. So
no,
he
no.
doesn't.
That wasn't really reckless. That was kind of a setup. He set up those shots.
But he
Those are
fought
all
coming.
good
He fought coming.
setups.
He was all offense, no defense.
Like remember when John Jones was so free up in there? That was Johnny
John
Walker when he
Jones,
first
dude.
started. Dude, come on, man. Y'all remember when John Jones when he
Do I remember?
first
Do I remember when John Jones was son? When I saw that spinning elbow on Stephen Bonner where he planked in midair, I knew this kid was going to be something special, and he became one of the obviously the greatest fighter of all time. Let's say one of the greatest. He is the greatest fighter of all time. He's made a lot. The only person that could beat John Jones is John fucking Jones.
Bro, it's so funny you mentioned that because I swear to God, it was that same exact moment where I said the same thing. I'm like, holy shit, I've never seen someone do some shit like this before.
Yeah,
Dude,
dude.
Johnny
Like just
Walker's a meme.
my man, fucking that spinning elbow. I mean, rest in peace, Stephen Bonner, my man. But like that was holy shit. This guy's real.
It was I mean, not that I didn't think he was the real deal, but the ass whooping he put on Shogun, I knew. I'm like, okay,
Broken.
this isn't the guy. I knew at the end of that fight, like I knew it was greatness. I knew he wasn't just good. At the end of that fight, I knew like this is greatness.
He broke.
This is gonna be as good as it gets right here. Whatever this is gonna be as good as it gets right here. I knew it, bro. He fucking he took that man's soul. That man
Yeah.
walked into that cage a
So
killer.
Shogun was the guy in Pride that walked through people, broke people, like almost like kind of like Vanderlei Silva esque. Like they were
Yeah,
similar,
bro. He walked in
and
that cage a killer. You know
he
it's
broke the
real.
man. He broke the man that broke people.
All right, but look, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, remember that freedom? That was Johnny Walker. That's what he did in the beginning, and that's what made everyone think, oh, maybe this guy can fight John Jones. But as soon as he ran into Nikita Krylov, that went away.
No, what happened was he went to fucking SPG Ireland.
Yes, sir.
Like
Yes, fucking sir. That
Conor McGregor is an anomaly. Like outside
yeah.
of Conor McGregor, John Kavanagh has not pumped out another person out. Well,
No, no,
outside
no,
of
no, no, no,
the
no. Watch
Iceland
the
guy,
regionals. Watch the
Iceland guy.
regionals. Cage Warriors. He's got some
What's his?
really good fighters on Cage Warriors.
Yeah,
So
but I'm talking
Yeah.
about UFC
it's
challenge. I'm talking about
yeah,
UFC.
trust me. In a few years, you'll see. But dude, Kavanaugh's not a bad coach. He's got some really
Oh,
good fighters.
I'm not saying he is. I'm saying like, but like, there's no other heavyweights over there. Like, for him to be training over there or light heavyweights, there's nobody else his size over there. Like, why are you training with guys smaller than you?
Yeah, okay, yeah. You got a point
You
there.
need to find you somebody somewhere with big. Like, you need to be training in fucking wherever the fucking Greg Jackson's at, or Duke Rufus. Like, train these guys where stars go, where you have somebody that can sharpen you, like somebody that can
Ooh,
give as much as you're
AT&T, bro.
giving.
Yeah, ATT,
He
bro.
should be
American Top
sparring
Team.
with heavyweight
That would be a
boxing
good one.
shit, bro. He should be his life should look his training life should
Not
look much different.
ATT because you don't want a super team. You want a team that's kind of built around you. You want to go somewhere where it's a family situation, kind of like AKA.
Yeah, AKA was,
Ooh, dude, that would be a
or
good one.
what's the god damn it, is it is it Fusion? No, what the fuck do they call that gym?
Steel Cliff?
No.
Yeah, Fusion XC is the one down in Florida.
Yeah, they got a bunch of big guys. Is it
Yeah,
Fusion? Is that the
where
name of it?
that's where Mike Davis trains.
Yeah, they got a few. They got some big guys down there, if I recall.
Mike Davis, Phil Rowe, Ronaldo Souza, Chakre.
Yep.
Uh, there's a couple. Mike Perry trains there.
Yeah, man, maybe that's not the one I'm thinking of. One of them's got several of the 6'3" plus guys that train there. I can't remember. Andrew, we probably ain't got much left. What you got? What else? What other fights you got, bro?
Just one
I
more,
know this
bro.
next one's about to slap right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I got one more fight announcement. I'm sure we'll talk about it. Hamzat Chimaev, Robert Whitaker.
I'm gonna go first because I just want to say that I don't have any good reason except for I get tired of the talk. Um, so I hope Robert Whitaker fucking takes him apart. Um, I think the fight is very, very close, though. I think this should go off at even money. And you guys know how I feel about Whitaker. You guys know I call him washed up and shit over the hill. But I think this fight should go off even ass money. And I think if Chimaev tries to stand with Bobby Knuckles, it's going to be a horrible, horrible fucking mistake for him. Trace.
I present you boys the Bobby Knuckles Show via decision. Give it to me, baby.
Yeah, how you think he does though? Really, like if Chimaev is put weight on because he was going back and forth, right? So let's assume he's because he was jacked. I seen some pictures of him, right? So let's assume he's cutting to make weight. Let's assume he's gonna walk at 190, 195, 200 pounds.
So he's every other guy he's fought at 185
Yeah,
outside of KG.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. So he's, but it's big for him, right? It is bigger for the Chimaev that we've seen. Is all I'm saying. How do you think the takedowns go? And I want to comment notation. I'm asking an opinion, but notation. What is Chimaev's cardio gonna look like if he is carrying that extra weight? And in round 4, is he even able to take Robert down if he is early in the fight? I mean, at round
Bro,
4.
I think at round 3 the takedowns are no longer are no longer an issue. I think we see Hamzat win round 1. May even have Bobby in a few bad situations may even hurt him. But Robert's always gotten wobbled, but he's always fought through it. He's always been able to come back from it. Um, Durable, awkward, fast, hard to hit, very quick. He fights with that karate stance too. Hard to get a hold of. Um, yeah, man. I feel like this is Bobby's fight to win, man. Like he's been hard to get put away outside of a few times in his career. Um, Obviously Hamzat's nowhere near the striker that Izzy is. And if he's forced to stay on the feet, I think Bobby starts kicking him, eats the leg up, and then starts landing them punches, man, them awkward punches he likes to throw, deeps to the body, kicks to the head. He's gonna mix it up well, man. I think yeah, man. I think we see Bobby look good, man. I think Robert Whitaker looks good in this fight.
Me
I
too.
think round 4 and 5 we've seen it in the past. We've seen in 3 round fights that Hamzat slows down real bad in that 3rd round. Um, If he's not just riding somebody around, his cardio seems to suffer. And Robert's been hard to get down, and he's hard to keep down. I think the he starts wearing the damage in rounds 4 and 5 and probably gets finished.
Yeah, I agree. So I think by round 4, Rob's able to start putting a pace on him, and yeah, I think Rob is like a pace that's going to finish him, a pace that's going to knock him out. I think he probably puts a lot of damage on him in round 3. If I had to make a guess, Chimaev shoots takedowns the whole first round. How many he gets and how many Rob gets up and gets down, I don't know. But if I had to make a guess, Chimaev shoots takedowns the whole first round. He comes out, stays on the feet for a minute in the second round because he's a little more gassed than he wants to admit. Shoots takedowns for probably the middle 3 minutes of the second round. Loses the first minute, last minute of the second round. But everybody's like, oh, he probably got round 2. And after that point, Bobby Knuckles walks away with the fight. If he does not finish him in round 4 or 5, it will be a clear victory for him, in my opinion. It will not be controversial, in my opinion. Uh,
I get it. He's a scary guy, and he had that big knockout punch over Jam 3, and somewhere along the way, people got mistaken that big KO punch was because he had good hands or good striking. That was born from him having of Jam 3 just being so worried about the takedown, like he never even thought of the striking coming because that was not what he had done at that point in the UFC. He'd shot as soon as the bell rang, shooting in on people, taking him down, beating him up. Reese McKee's he just ragdolled Reese McKee the entire fight. Jack Marshman, same thing. He was just shooting at the people and taking them down. He had not really thrown stand up strikes yet. So you have somebody that's only worried about you shooting a takedown on them. Yeah, it's a free fucking punch, man. He walked out and bonked him, put him to sleep. He's got real power. If you got a clean shot on somebody, yeah, you can put anybody to sleep. But he hasn't shown that power any other fight. He's strong, yes. He's mean as fuck, yeah. But I don't know if he's got the cardio to do it, man. I don't think he can go very long.
nah, I'll be honest. I don't care that he got the W. Gilbert Burns showed me everything I'll ever need to know about him. Um, and that's facts. Like, he, man, uh, yep, that's it. Gilbert Burns showed me everything I ever need to know. And if Gilbert Burns can have the success that he did against Chimaev, I do not see how he has even similar success against Robert Whitaker. Like, whatever. I don't.
I'm,
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to disagree with you guys, man. Shemaya's gonna ragdoll Bobby Knuckles.
but who has he ragged out?
Everyone
Who?
besides Burns and Kamaro.
So nobody.
And
So
he kind of
nobody since he stepped up
Wait,
in
wait.
competition.
All right. So we just said Gerald Mershard. That's fine. Don't look it up. Name his other opponents. Name them.
that he beat. What's that guy? That new guy in the UFC, Islam. Um, what's his name again? He only,
Right.
he only fought one time. He's supposed to
He
be.
he ran through the leech, and then he fucking dog walked Kamaru to a 10-8 for the first round, and then
No,
yes,
it
he
wasn't
did
in the
slow down.
UFC though. This fight that I'm talking about, he fought. What's that new guy's name?
Oh, I know you're talking about the guy that he beat outside of the UFC that's in the UFC now. It's got some hype behind him. I can't think of his name right now.
I can't
Yeah.
think of his last name right now. Microsoft or some shit like that. I don't know.
Microsoft.
He knocked him out ice cold. Like he knocked him out real bad, dude.
Ozzy coming on the mic to tell us who it is. Hold up. Yeah, Ismagul. No, not Ismagulov. Go ahead, Ozzy.
Yeah, man, Whitaker. You can't compare Whitaker to some of these bums, man. That he's fought. Whitaker is one of the very best to ever do it at middleweight, man. Even when he wasn't the champion, he was keeping the division honest. He was beating all the guys that they didn't want the champions to face. You know, he went down to one of the best kickboxers that the division's ever seen. But I mean, this guy, Yeah, he's unreal for a round. This is a 5-round fight. Even in a 3-round fight, I kind of favour Chimaev. But if you're gonna expect him to do that for the first 3 rounds, then you also have to expect him to survive rounds 4 and 5. And I really don't see that happening, man. I think Whitaker is gonna mow this guy down in those later rounds. If he comes out in round 2 or 3, like he did with Kamaru, Rob gets him out of there. And
Yeah,
if Rob's
Whitaker's
desperate and
proven.
has to win, if he loses those 3 rounds and he has to get a finish in round 4 and 5, I think he's going to get it.
Yeah, Whitaker's proven he's 5 rounds. I mean, he hasn't really had finishes in the later part of his career, so he's had to go the 5 rounds to win the belt and maintain the belt. Um, yeah, man. Ikram Aliskerov was the guy's name that you were talking about. There's
Yeah,
uh,
I just found it. Yeah, yeah, that was him.
but yeah, man. Like he's it's just like you said, Ozzy. You said it perfect. Honestly, in a 3 round fight, I would go with Hamzat, but with it being 5 rounds, like he has to get Bobby out of there or just put him so far behind, like 10-8 him the first 3 rounds, and hope Bobby doesn't somehow come back and get the finish. But like Bobby's just so durable, and he's gonna keep the pressure. He's gonna keep moving. He's gonna keep hitting. He's gonna keep touching him. And when you're tired, it just saps all the energy out of you, man. Like
So
this is good.
Trace, you
And
just
he's going to
kind of
defend
mentioned
some of
it
these
for like a
takedowns.
quick second, but I was just gonna say that the fact that none of you guys are even talking like it's a fucking possibility. We're talking about a guy who's clearly one of the most dominant first round fighters in the UFC, and you guys haven't even like considered the possibility that he can run through Whitaker like that. If you watched Kamaru, he almost got him out of there. It arguably could have been stopped, but I have no problem with it going. I'm just saying, if it happens, you guys better not be like crazy surprised, because the 2 losses that Whitaker does have recently, guess what? Early rounds. I'm just
Andrew,
saying, bro.
Andrew, baby, you know me. Anytime I'm wrong, I come in here and eat fucking crow, Bubba. I don't care. If he comes out here and he buzz saws through him, and be like, well, shit, maybe Robert Whitaker is going downhill. I ain't gonna give Combs that no fucking respect. He ain't shit, bro.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like the longer the fight goes, it favors Robert. I mean, I don't think anyone can disagree with that. Um, but the fact that like no one's even considering the thought that Robert Whitaker can get finished, I think is fucking crazy.
I think if you're going to bet Khamzat, I wouldn't bet his money line. Like you said, I'd bet him round 1 or 2, you know. And
Yeah, you gotta look for the angles because he's probably gonna be a pretty sizable favorite. I imagine. I imagine we're gonna get Robert Whitaker at dog money.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think when the
I
line
really like
opened,
Robbie.
it was Hamzat minus 190, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm gonna let you
So
know how that. I'm gonna let you know how that Bobby Whitaker packs taste though. I'll let you know.
Yo, I just loaded up the highlights of Ikram versus Shamaev. Watch how Shamaev knocks him out cold.
and Ikram's a middleweight, yeah.
170. Oh no, he's a middleweight, 185, because he came in with I forget the dude's name. It was Ikram and the dude that what was the other fucking guy's name? Dana brought him in together. He was pumping Ikram, and the other dude flopped. He got put in a main event in his UFC debut.
Albus, I think his name is the German dude.
Yeah, a boost. That's it. A boost. That's definitely who I was talking about. So yeah, whatever. Izzy and DDP is rumored for Perth. Eugene Berriman said that they're getting ready, hoping that that'll happen.
Joe,
US
where you following that fight?
on the Izzy DDP fight.
Yeah,
Um, I think it should probably go off as a pick 'em. To be fair, there was a very clear path, very clear blueprint laid for DDP, which I believe he can follow. By Sean Strickland. Um, and if he does anything similar to that, I believe that DDP is stronger than Sean Strickland if Izzy tries to deviate. Um, I favor DDP if I'm being honest. And I know I don't like Izzy, but he's a great fighter. I don't think he should be a huge dog or anything, but uh, I just favor DDP.
No, I 100% agree with everything you said. I think we seen Drickus does what Sean Strickland did, just a little bit better. So he just did it to Sean. Uh, yeah, I think Drickus is the side. Ozzy,
Yeah, I've got a decent bet on Adesanya to be the champ by the end of the year, so I'm going to take some drinkers just to kind of hedge off.
you're cutting out a bit, bud.
He really
He
showed. I don't
said
know
he's
what he's
got a
got.
bet.
He got some.
I can hear you, Ozzy. He said you were cutting up. I think you just broke up for a minute, bud. Go ahead.
I'm just drop me, Joe. I don't want to wreck your show, but yeah, I had some. I'm going to bet Drickers just because I've got some Izzy to be the champ at the end of the year props. I got that. Drickers really showed in his last fight. Whatever cardio issues we thought he had, they're gone. You know, he got some kind of surgery on his nose, deviated septum, whatever. I don't know, but he
Same
held
thing
his
Joe
own for
did.
those later rounds, man.
Deviated septum, right?
He got the same surgery Joe Rogan got.
Yeah, bro. When fighters get
Yeah.
that
Okay. Yeah.
surgery,
Yeah.
I've learned when they get that surgery, fucking DDP was the final nail in the coffin, bro. Every time somebody gets that surgery so they can breathe better, they fucking smoke it in their next fight, bro. I have to absolutely fucking next time somebody gets that surgery, if they were a pretty good fighter, I'm fucking hammering them. I mean it, bro. That man, it is like a huge thing, and it makes sense if you understand the body and just understand training. It makes huge sense. But it seems like the first fight after that surgery, man, fighters just fucking thrive.
Dude, Gaethje's got it done.
I know, bro. Several fighters have, and they have had.
Yeah. I think Vandalay Silva got it done back in the day, and yeah, a bunch of you get punched in the nose enough times, it starts to close up on you.
Um, what else did I have? Not a whole lot here. Luke Rockhold signed with Karate Combat and will debut at KC 45 against Bellator vet Joe Schilling. Um, man, Luke Rockhold was a free agent for over a year. Doesn't really seem like it.
They're fighting
Uh,
where at?
Karate Combat.
Yeah, that's a fucking banger.
Yeah, I mean it's not a bad fight at all. And
I
check
think I
this out.
leaned Chilling, but because Luke got that quit in him, but
There's questions about what kind of contract Luke got with Karate Combat because he is scheduled to coach on a reality show similar to Tough, opposite of Tyron Woodley for Hardcore FC in the near future.
that's lame.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it though. Like I'm not.
You let me know if it's good, and I'll tune in, bro.
I know you will. I know. If I'm like, bro, check this
I
shit
can't
out.
say shit. I be watching all the power slaps.
Yeah, and like I be watching granny slaps and shit. I don't care, whatever it is. Let's watch it. Let's go. If they're fucking in, I'm in. Outside of that, I scratched a couple. Matt Brown and Anthony Smith restarted the glove argument. I don't want to have it anymore, but I have a feeling that we're going to have to endure it again for 2024. Brandon Moreno says he's going to take some time away from fighting. 2 fight skid. I think that could be healthy for him to take a year away. He's a young man. Um, yeah, I just think it could be good for him. And last, James Krause says he is $5 million in debt. He owns a company named Iridium Realty, and he owns a bunch of properties. And he says that it's due to the market, due to blah blah blah. And once you understand fractional banking, you know that it's not a big deal to be $5 million in debt. Basically, you can change your life or whatever. This is all surfacing, in my opinion, because it's under Iridium Realty, I believe, is under investigation right now. And that's going to be because if James was placing illegal bets, um, and then buying real estate or even putting the money into his real estate, um, they will likely take all that shit. Um, yeah, I don't know exactly what's bringing all of this to light in the sense of like, other than it having to do with him being investigated for gaming fraud, why anybody would be digging into all of this stuff and questioning his investments. So, James Krause is on the fucking shit slide from the sounds of it. I mean, I always thought the guy was the rig and the guy was dirty, but I never, I never want to see nobody lose everything they got or any shit like that. So, fucking, yeah, whatever, I guess. James Krause is fucking broke. That's all I got, boys. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, that's it. Oh, Sean Strickland says that not, he would consider leaving the UFC and going to box, which he seems to think that he can do. He mentioned that he could get a couple $1 million to box Jake Paul. Um, and he said all this in lieu to if he's not going to get a rematch with DDP because he feels like he was robbed. He blamed the Canadian government, said they threw that Canada threatened to not allow him into the event. If I understand his claims correctly, like the government from Canada, even though he was there to fight, threatened to not let him into the venue. And he basically said that it was rigged against me because Canada hates me. So, um, yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people hate Sean Strickland. If I'm being honest, I don't. What the fuck, Sean? Yeah, I'm sure nobody likes you. You can't talk shit to everybody and then be mad when they don't fucking like you. That doesn't even make any fucking sense. All right, that's actually all I have. I'm closing my fucking file down here. If anybody's got a quick topic they want to hit, that's good. Otherwise, Trace, take us home.
Yeah, that's about what I figured. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Not the best card. A couple of spots, like a few dogs that we gave out. Like I said, the parlay I was talking about earlier was Chepe. Chepe, Jermaine Durandamy, and who was that's the other one. The wrestler fighting Gene Matsumoto. I can't think of his name right. Dan.
You talking about Hugo?
No, Dan. Argetta.
Argetta?
Chepe, and Jermaine Durandamy. It's an all dog parlay. I think it's got a good chance of fucking hitting, man. But yeah, I've got nothing else for you. I hope everybody hits on their best tonight or night this weekend. Yeah, good space, guys. Thank y'all for coming out and hanging out, man. I appreciate y'all coming out and staying with us.
Yeah, for sure. Aussie, you were here all night. Za, Andrew, as soon as you could get here. Dead Picks running the stream. Um, man, cards like seem to
Usman was
suck.
supposed to be here a little bit late, but was 3 hours late. Whatever. I
Yeah,
see
he
you,
said
Usman.
shit. I ain't mad at him. Next week though, UFC 300. So I expect to have a good space. Take the good ones with the shit ones. Whatever it is, what it is. And it wasn't shit. It was a great space. I just like when we can get more people in here hopping on and off the mic. I like the open platform. So,
Hey, Joe, real quick, if I can just make a suggestion, because we know that UFC 300 is the following weekend. That card is very fucking stacked.
oh yeah,
And I imagine we're going to go in depth in many of these fights. So I would say try to keep the like news to a minimum unless it's like crazy big, because I just feel like this card is going to be talked for a while, and I don't want us to go like crazy over time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what I'm gonna do is cut the fight announcements. Fuck your part, and then we'll we'll just do 300 in my stuff.
That's fun.
No, I've already prepared for that. I already know I'm going to have minimal topics, probably enough to fill 20, 25 minutes, early show. I don't like to hop in and jump right into the card. So I only plan on doing the pre show shit and then the announcements after. And that'll probably be the whole show for that. If there's good announcements, that can pretty much be the show. The only time I have to feel like I have to hit the pressure points is when shit like the antitrust or companies get bought and shit like that. But there's not a lot of that with the antitrust gone, and a lot of all that industry talk is going to chirp down, in my opinion. The PFL is getting exposed for being a very shit company, and the MMA media doesn't want them to be the bad guy. So yeah, I just think the dynamic of the news we get will change. Whatever it is, what it is.
I'm very excited for next week's space. I will say that next week's space is going to be fucking popping.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
All right, boys. Y'all know the game. CapMMA.com. Hit us up on the YouTube, the website. Best resource site around, getting better every day. Joe's working his ass off for it and doing a lot of shit for it. Free. It's free, free, free. Check it out, man. Yeah, CapMMA.com. Know it, learn it, love it. Joe, you got anything for us?
No, no, that's it. I've been promising the big update for like 3 weeks, so I'm just gonna hold off. When it does finally drop, though, everybody will be thoroughly impressed. You will feel like it's a huge upgrade, so that makes me feel good. That's it,
Uh,
boys.
Shout out to Dead Picks for doing everything for the YouTube. Appreciate it as always, brother.
Always.
Andrew, thank you for doing the tailored tape for us as always. And Joe, always good with the good fight news and announcements and shit. Appreciate all you boys, man. Ozzy, thank you for always having a take, man. And Zaw for being here and having a take as well, man. It was a good time, brother. Uh, yeah, let's do it again next weekend. Big fight card. Later, boys.
Later on.